The 7 goddess sisters asked me to return home after I left. Lin Ye was reborn. In his previous life, he was brought into the wealthy Lin family, thinking he had arrived in paradise, only to find it was a hell. He had his leg broken in the Lin family, suffered constant abuse from his stepmother, and lived worse than a servant. The fake young master, who had usurped his place, framed him, and the 7 beautiful goddess sisters were deceived by villains, suffering tragic fates. Some died, others were left maimed. The ones he loved died one by one in front of him, and Lin Ye was powerless to stop it. His life could only be described as tragic. But this time, things were different. He became a tycoon in the entertainment industry, controlling a multibillion-dollar empire. Those who once looked down on him now regretted it bitterly. Lin Ye, in this life, I will save the ones I love, and for those I want to kill, none of you will escape. Chapter 1, Try hitting me again if you dare. In the luxurious living room of the villa, there was a suffocating atmosphere, with faces full of anger, on the verge of erupting like a volcano. Sister, we all saw it. Lin Ye stole your underwear. Lin Ye, we found your sister's underwear under your pillow. You were caught red-handed, do you still want to deny it? Reborn? Lin Ye stared at the faces before him, both familiar and unfamiliar, a sharp pain stabbing at his head. You're just a dog raised by the Lin family, a servant. How dare you steal my sister's underwear? How filthy and disgusting. You make me sick. Get out of the Lin family. Xie, just admit it. Mom will plead on your behalf. A woman wearing a large pearl necklace, with well-maintained skin, spoke to Lin Ye. Lin Ye looked around at his surroundings and felt as if he had been hit with a heavy blow. The cruel Mrs. Yangfang? Wasn't she dead? This scene was one he had experienced in his previous life. Yangfang had secretly taken his eldest sister's underwear and hidden it under his pillow, framing him to get him completely kicked out of the Lin family. The Lin family was worth billions, and for the sake of profit, Yangfang was capable of anything. According to the original script, Lin Ye had initially refused to admit it, but Yangfang and Lin Zihao, the fake son, colluded to insist that Lin Ye had stolen the underwear. Yangfang later promised him that if he admitted to stealing Lin Yubing's underwear, she would help him gain her forgiveness. Lin Ye, who had always admired Lin Yubing, naively agreed. After admitting, the eyes of the 7 sisters toward him completely changed. They looked at him like he was trash. From then on, they demanded that Lin Ye stay at least 3 meters away from them. In the end, Lin Ye gained nothing. His status in the family plummeted, and he was beaten by the enraged family head, resulting in a broken leg. He could only limp for the rest of his life. Although he was expelled from the Lin family, his image was utterly destroyed, and he became a marginal figure in the family, treated worse than a servant. Reborn, Lin Ye found himself reliving this moment, and he couldn't help but feel it was laughable. He had truly been foolish back then. Yangfang, you must be cursing me for being so stupid right now, right? Lin Ye smirked bitterly. I didn't do it. Why should I admit it? You found Yubing's underwear under your pillow, and you still want to deny it? Yangfang continued her framing. Lin Ye stared at her and took a step forward, speaking coldly. The door to Lin Yubing's room was locked. How could I have entered without a key? Also, I remember that only you have the key to her room. Could it be that you stole her underwear and framed me? Yangfang suddenly felt Lin Ye's approach becoming aggressive, and she couldn't help but take a half step back. The key to their house went missing. It must have been you who took it. Yangfang exclaimed. Lin Ye chuckled. I lied to you just now. The key has always been here. You used it to open the door this morning. Have you forgotten? Exposed. A flash of panic crossed Yangfang's face. At this moment, anyone with eyes could see something was wrong. Lin Ye had only made a bluff, yet Yangfang had already come up with a lie about the missing key. Lin Ye pressed on. You have the key to Yubing's room, and you were the one who found her underwear under my pillow. You've been doing all of this, making it look like I had no part in it. Framing someone isn't this simple. Lin Yubing, the eldest daughter of the Lin family, finally reacted and explained, this might not have been done by Lin Ye. We can't falsely accuse someone. The 6th sister, Lin Shisha, also nodded. I believe in Lin Ye. He wouldn't do something like this. Lin Ye felt a little touched. They were still on his side. Who else could it have been if not him? Yangfang lashed out, grabbing a ruler and glaring at Lin Ye. Do you admit it or not? If you don't admit it, I'll beat you until you do. Lin Ye smiled. She's anxious. She's really anxious. You're asking for it. Without hesitation, Yang Fang swung the ruler at Lin Ye's arm. Smack. A large red mark appeared on his fair arm, looking even more glaring. Admit your mistake when you've done something wrong, and stop being so stubborn. Mom is doing this for your own good. Take it like a man. Lin Ye glared at Yang Fang, his heart boiling with anger. This mom of hers, did she deserve to be called that? 6 years ago, Lin Ye, an orphan, had saved the noblewoman Su Wanwan by chance. Su Wanwan brought him into the Lin family and gave him a meal to eat. But Lin Ye's position in the Lin family was awkward. He was never adopted, and his household registration was never transferred. When Su Wanwan was still alive, it didn't matter, but after her death, Lin Ye became an outsider in the family, an even worse existence than a servant. Su Wanwan had given birth to 7 beautiful daughters, known as the 7 fairies of the Lin family, each one elegant and refined. Any one of them could easily outshine the internet celebrities. Especially Lin Yubing, the eldest daughter of the Lin family. Her skin was like snow, her figure graceful. Her long, smooth hair flowed, radiating a fragrance like a delicate flower in full bloom, beautiful and dazzling. Lin Ye looked at the familiar faces of the 7 sisters, his eyes moistening. Because in his previous life, all 7 of them were killed by Lin Zihao. After Su Wanwan's sudden death, Yang Fang brought her illegitimate son, Lin Zihao, into the family. Yang Fang had been a nurse during Su Wanwan's hospital stay, and during that time, she seduced Lin Hongzhong. She also had an affair with a head doctor, and Lin Zihao was their unexpected child. Afterwards, Yang Fang and the doctor fabricated a false paternity test to deceive Lin Hongzhong. Thus, Lin Zihao, who had no blood relation to the Lin family, became the sole heir of the Lin family, pampered and spoiled. Lin Zihao got everything he wanted, with a monthly allowance of 1 million yuan. Ironically, Lin Ye, who had no blood relation to the Lin family either, was treated like a servant. He was not even allowed to eat at the same table, living in a cramped servantess room with only 100 yuan for monthly expenses. To them, Lin Zihao, who had blood ties, was the only true heir. But Lin Ye was never considered one of them. Mom, brother, didn't he do it on purpose? Can you give him a chance? Lin Zihao suddenly spoke up. Zihao is still obedient, Lin Ye. If you had just 1/10 of Zihao's qualities. Yang Fang looked at Lin Ye with undisguised disdain in her eyes. Lin Ye glanced at Lin Zihao and felt disgusted. In the past, he had thought Lin Zihao was an excellent, caring younger brother, who only wanted the best for him. But after being reborn, Lin Ye realized that Lin Zihao was nothing more than a wolf in sheep's clothing. On the surface, Lin Zihao was good at academics, music, and even composed songs from a young age, earning his parents' favor. In reality, it was all a facade. Lin Zihao knew he wasn't Lin Hongzhong's biological son, and he feared being expelled from the family and losing his inheritance rights. He would do anything to get rid of Lin Ye. Lin Zihao kept a sickening diary filled with his twisted obsession with the 7 sisters of the Lin family. After taking control of the Lin family, he swore to carry out every depraved act he had written in his diary to satisfy his twisted desires. The 7 sisters refused to submit, and they would rather die than be humiliated. In the end, Lin Zihao tortured them until they took their own lives. Thinking of how Lin Zihao had driven them to their deaths, Lin Ye's entire body felt cold. In his previous life, Lin Ye had no power and could only watch them die in front of him. This time, he would never let that happen again. He would make money, gain power, and elevate his status. He would make Lin Zihao and Yang Fang pay for everything. Right now, the ruler was still burning hot where it had struck his skin. Smack. 27, 28, 29. You little bastard, learning to steal at such a young age. You're just a worthless failure. I won't teach you a lesson, and you'll never learn. Yang Fang swung the ruler with fake sincerity, pretending to be doing this for his own good. Lin Ye was filled with rage. If you dare to hit me again, try it. Lin Ye grabbed the ruler and shouted, his voice like thunder. It shook Yang Fang, causing her to stagger back several steps. Everyone fell silent. No one had expected that the usually obedient and gentle Lin Ye would become so domineering and forceful. It was as if he had turned into a completely different person. Chapter 2, I must leave the Lin family. Thud. 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 Yang Fang staggered backward in shock, her eyes wide open in disbelief as she looked at him. Why you dare to yell at me? Is this how you treat your mother? I'm not just yelling at you, I want to hit you too. Lin Ye snapped, throwing the ruler with all his might, narrowly missing Yang Fang. Yang Fang turned pale, her face drained of color. The scene left everyone dumbfounded. After Su Wanwan's death, Yang Fang had pretended to be kind and loving to integrate into the Lin family. She even insisted Lin Ye call her stepmother to emphasize her image of being magnanimous and compassionate. Before, Lin Ye had obeyed her every word, doing whatever she asked without hesitation. But now, he was about to hit her? Was this really the Lin Ye they knew? Yang Fang scolded him angrily, "Unfilial child, you're finished. You're beyond redemption. I'm completely disappointed in you." Lin Ye couldn't help but laugh bitterly. He had once tried so hard to please his stepmother, doing everything he could to earn her love and approval, but now, he realized how foolish he had been. He was an orphan, and for as long as he could remember, he had envied children who had both fathers and mothers, while he had no one to care for him. Few people could understand the significance of a mother's love for an orphan. He had imagined countless times what his real mother would have been like. And then, 6 years ago, he met Su Wanwan. She was the perfect embodiment of all the maternal love Lin Ye had ever dreamed of. Gentle, kind, patient. For a brief moment, Lin Ye felt like he had been blessed by heaven, savoring every bit of affection Su Wanwan showed him. But then, just as suddenly, Su Wanwan died of a heart attack, and all he was left with was a malicious woman. When Su Wanwan was alive, she had treated him like her own son, giving him the warmth of a mother's love. He could truly call her mom. But Yang Fang, she clearly saw him as a threat to her son's inheritance. To her, Lin Ye wasn't a son, but a nuisance. He used to be so naive, thinking Yang Fang might treat him like Su Wanwan had. He worked hard to please her, doing whatever she said, never daring to rebel. Yang Fang told him he shouldn't ask for too much pocket money and should only take 100 yuan a month. He believed her, thinking she was trying to keep him from wasting money. The result? He passed out from hunger in class. Yang Fang said he should unconditionally accommodate his younger brother, Lin Zihao. He believed that too. But when Lin Zihao made a mistake, it was always Lin Ye who took the blame, falsely accused by everyone. He foolishly thought that because of this, Yang Fang would be kind to him. But in the end, no. She had never shown him any kindness. Lin Ye had expected a woman to be this malicious. The difference between a mother and a stepmother was greater than the difference between a person and a dog. "Mom, it's not his fault. Please forgive him." Lin Zihao continued to play the role of the good son. Lin Ye was furious. "Who are you trying to fool? You think I don't know what you're up to?" He knew Lin Zihao's twisted nature all too well. From a young age, Lin Zihao knew he wasn't Lin Hongzhong's biological son, and he had no blood relation to the 7 sisters. Lin Zihao saw the 7 sisters as objects of his twisted obsession, with an unhealthy possessiveness over them. Whenever one of them had a boyfriend, he would do everything in his power to sabotage the relationship. After taking control of the Lin family, Lin Zihao even planned to turn the 7 sisters into his playthings. This beast. Lin Ye was sure that it was Lin Zihao who had come up with the idea of framing him for stealing his eldest sister's underwear. "Brother, you're yelling at me." Lin Zihao feigned a pitiful expression. Lin Ye wanted nothing more than to kick him. But then, he realized he had to stay calm. Reacting impulsively would only play into their hands. Yang Fang pulled Lin Zihao into her arms, comforting him. "Zihao, don't be afraid. Mom will take care of everything." She then turned her furious gaze on Lin Ye. "You little beast, how dare you speak to Zihao like that? You stole underwear, and instead of feeling guilty, you're being defiant." Lin Shisher tugged at Lin Ye's sleeve, signaling him to keep calm. Lin Ye gave her a reassuring look, then said coldly, "Lin Zihao is also a man. Why hasn't anyone thought it could have been him who stole the underwear? How could Zihao do such a thing? You're trying to frame him." Yang Fang snapped, her face turning red with anger. She pointed at Lin Ye, scolding him harshly. "You know what you are, you venomous woman." Lin Ye sneered, before turning around and heading straight for his room. "Lin Ye, how could you say such things about Mom?" Second sister Lin Qinshuan frowned. Lin Ye ignored her, slamming the door shut behind him. Leaning against the door, he began to think about his situation. With Lin Zihao's move, the 7 sisters now saw him as an outsider, someone with no blood relation to them. They didn't believe he belonged in the Lin family and thought he was just here to fight for their inheritance. Lin Zihao's plan had worked. It was clear that the best course of action now was for him to leave the family. Besides the obvious issues with the opposite sex, it was important to avoid provoking the family head, Lin Hongzhong. This violent man had once broken Lin Ye's leg over the stolen underwear incident in the past. Reborn, Lin Ye understood clearly. He had to leave the Lin family. Under Lin Zihao and Yang Fang's manipulation, the seven sisters now saw him as an outsider and believed the lies they had been fed. They saw him as someone trying to claim the Lin family's fortune. The longer he stayed, the more they would believe it. As long as he stayed, this prejudice couldn't be erased. He needed to work hard, earn more than the Lin group, and shatter the rumors spread by Lin Zihao and Yang Fang. Yang Fang, Lin Zihao, I will make you regret ever coming into this world. Right now, I don't have any power, but I'll make money. Only with money can I crush this evil mother and son. The college entrance exam is coming soon. In my past life, after I got my leg broken, my pride was shattered, and I didn't go to the exam. How stupid was I? In fact, his academic performance far surpassed Lin Zihao's, but his family had never paid attention to him. In his past life, Yang Fang had done everything in her power to mold him into a weak, useless failure to make Lin Zihao look better. But this time, he would prove to everyone that he was just as good as Lin Zihao. Make money, take the college entrance exam, and crush Yang Fang and Lin Zihao. Lin Ye quickly made a plan in his mind. He grabbed a plastic bag and packed up a few clothes, then pulled out the small stash of pocket money he had saved over 6 years. A total of 2,000 yuan. Most of this money came from part-time jobs, as the 100 yuan the Lin family gave him every month was barely enough to get by. Yang Fang had never bought him anything, his clothes were the same few sets. He packed up his things, carrying the transparent plastic bag out of the house, looking like a scavenger. The family was upstairs, enjoying their afternoon tea, Western-style desserts, caviar, French bread, posing like an upper-class family. Stop right there. A middle-aged man in a suit with a stern expression called out to Lin Ye. It was none other than the Lin family's head, Lin Hongzhong. Lin Ye, what do you think you're doing? Lin Hongzhong frowned as he looked at the plastic bag of clothes on Lin Ye's back. He probably heard about the stolen underwear incident and was furious that such a disgraceful thing had happened in the noble Lin family. Lin Hongzhong would never forgive him. Brother, come apologize. Eldest sister will forgive you. Lin Zihao said in a fake, hypocritical tone. It wasn't me. Why should I apologize? Lin Ye retorted. Who else could it be? You're the only outsider in this house. Yang Fang sneered. Heh. The house. If anyone disobeyed him, they were punished with violence. Seeing that Lin Ye wasn't stopping, Lin Hongzhong lost his temper. You ungrateful son, you don't even respect me. He charged at Lin Ye, catching him off guard and kicking him hard in the legs. Bang! Lin Ye was blindsided and fell down the stairs, his head hitting the ground hard. Lin Ye was furious. An ambush. This shameless bastard. If you have the guts, fight me openly. Chapter 3, After 1,000 sales have passed, I return as a youth. Lin Ye. Sixth sister Lin Shisher was shocked and hurried downstairs to check on his injuries. She was the campus belle, studying at Tianhai No. 1 High School with Lin Ye, and was the person closest to him in the family. I'm fine. Lin Ye shakily stood up. He had thought that in this rebirth, he wouldn't be interrupted by Lin Hongzhong's kick, but unexpectedly, his right leg was still injured. Lin Hongzhong was surprised to see Lin Ye fall down the stairs, but he quickly assumed the leader's authoritative posture. He was a man who never made mistakes and always had the final say. The 7 sisters of the Lin family were stunned, gathering around to inspect. Falling down the stairs was no trivial matter. Some people even suffered spinal injuries or became permanently disabled from such falls. Are you really all right? Lin Shisher asked again, looking worried. I'm fine. Lin Ye moved his arm, feeling a sharp pain as he realized his arm was scraped and blooded. Let us go, I'll take you to the hospital. Third sister Lin Nanji came over to support Lin Ye. She was a surgeon, well aware that such an injury required disinfection to prevent further infection. No need. Lin Ye waved his hand, refusing. His body hurt as he stood, and it fueled a surge of defiance within him. I'm a doctor, you have to listen to me. Lin Nanji said seriously. Exactly. Lin Ye, you're throwing a tantrum at a time like this. You've got no manners, and you'll never amount to anything. Yang Fang mocked sharply. I told you I'm fine. Lin Ye suddenly shouted, his voice echoing through the whole mansion. The sudden outburst caught everyone off guard. Lin Ye had always been the submissive one in the family, constantly trying to please everyone. Even the servants would shout at him, and he would bear it quietly. But now, he dared to shout out loud. His fierce attitude made everyone feel like they were meeting him for the first time. I said, I'm fine. Lin Ye softened his tone, as if the previous outburst had been a figment of his imagination. His head throbbed painfully, and a liquid dripped down from his forehead. When he touched it, he found it was fresh blood. The blood trickled down his forehead, dripping over his nose, making him look like a vengeful ghost. Lin Hongzhong clearly hadn't expected the consequences of his violent action to be so severe, but he was the patriarch, he would never admit his mistakes. Get him to the hospital, he ordered Yang Fang. Lin Ye looked at him with a cold, harsh gaze and spoke in a low voice, Lin Hongzhong, don't pretend to be concerned. I remember everything you've done to me. One day, you'll pay a heavy price for it. You. Lin Hongzhong exploded in anger. Yang Fang quickly went to support Lin Ye. Seeing the venomous woman approach, Lin Ye roared, get the hell away from me. I have nothing to do with any of you. Yang Fang, haven't you always wanted to kick me out? Fine, you've succeeded. From now on, I have no relation to this family. Lin Ye shook off the hands of the two women and wiped the blood off his face. The blood didn't come off cleanly, only making his expression more sinister. Everyone stared at Lin Ye's unfamiliar face, some even in a daze. Call 120. Lin Nanji shouted urgently. No need. Lin Ye felt exhausted, only wanting to get far away from this place so he could finally feel at peace. He didn't want to deal with anyone anymore and walked straight toward the front door. You're planning to run away from home? If you walk out that door, don't bother coming back. Yang Fang sneered, barely holding back a laugh. 120 has already been called, hurry and talk to him. Lin Shisha cried out. Stop right there. Didn't you hear me? You deaf or something? Looks like I need to teach you a lesson. Lin Hongzhong's anger was boiling over as he tried to reassert his authority. Seeing Lin Ye defy him again, Lin Hongzhong's patriarchal pride was greatly shaken, and he was furious to the point of trembling. Several of the daughters were startled at their father's wrath. Even the usually cold eldest sister, Lin Yubing, showed a hint of disgust. Yang Fang sneered, he's just an outsider. Outsiders always have ulterior motives. If he dies, then good riddance. Lin Zihao pretended to be surprised. Mom, isn't he my real brother? Yang Fang snapped, real brother? He's just someone we picked up. He has no blood relation to us, he's dirty inside and out, uncivilized, and rude. He's not one of us. Lin Hongzhong's brief moment of regret vanished completely. He spoke in a deep voice, unfilial child, get out. The Lin family doesn't need someone like you. Lin Ye looked disdainfully at the mother and son duo, feeling deeply contemptuous. In his previous life, it was exactly through the manipulation of these two that the Lin group was taken from him. The image of Lin Hongzhong being tormented by his own son, reduced to a pathetic, broken man, caused a cruel smile to curve Lin Ye's lips. He glanced at Lin Hongzhong and said coldly, all right, from now on, I am severing all ties with the Lin family. Saying that, he pushed open the door and hobbled away. You Lin Hongzhong didn't expect Lin Ye to remain unrepentant, and shouted at his retreating back, if you have the guts, don't ever come back. But Lin Ye didn't turn around. Lin Ye, where are you going? Lin Shisha asked in surprise. A sense of unease rose in her chest, as if once Lin Ye left, he would never come back. Don't call him. This beast is driving me crazy. Lin Hongzhong's face was flushed with rage. Lin Shisha and her 6 sisters were a bit afraid of their father. Since he told them not to call out to Lin Ye, none of them dared to disobey. With the plastic bag slung over his shoulder, Lin Ye left the Lin family villa without any sense of attachment. The sky was clear, the clouds were blue, and as he stepped out the door, it felt as though invisible chains were falling away from his body. In life, people are often trapped by all kinds of constraints, but the shackles imposed by family are the heaviest. Before, Lin Ye had always been weighed down by the Lin family. Now, before he had even fully adjusted to his rebirth, he was thrown out, hurriedly leaving his home. The sword was not yet sheathed, and stepping out the door, the world was his battlefield. After all the ships had sailed past, he returned, still young at heart. Chapter 4, Determined. Watching Lin Ye limping away, the living room of the villa fell into deathly silence. Sixth sister Lin Shishir did not expect this result. Her father Lin Hongzhong beat Lin Ye so hard that he vomited blood. This brutal scene made her shudder. The stepmother was laughing in her heart, but she pretended to be sorry and said, "This Lin Ye wants to threaten us by running away from home. He thinks we will beg him to come back, what a dream." Second sister Lin Qinshuan said angrily, "I have seen this kind of routine many times. He just wants to find ways to plot against the Lin family's assets and ask for more benefits. Lin Ye has been trying his best to please us these past few years. He won't leave even though we've forced him so hard. If not for coveting our Lin family's property, what else could it be? Stepmother, just wait and see. He will come back in disgrace in a few days. You won't be able to give him a penny then." She was a little nervous at first, fearing that her plan to drive Lin Ye away would backfire, and that Lin Hongzhong and his 7 daughters would try to keep Lin Ye. As it turned out, there were no such concerns at all. So the stepmother intensified her anger. "Next time he comes back, you must not forgive him easily. After all, he stole the underwear. You all go back and check to see if any other underwear is missing." Lin Hongzhong frowned. Lin Ye has indeed grown up and become an adult, and it is indeed inconvenient for him to live with 7 daughters who are not related to him by blood. There's no guarantee that something might not happen. If any scandal were to spread, it would be a disaster for my daughter's reputation. Lin Hongzhong secretly hoped that Lin Ye would never come back. "Sister, I don't think my brother is that kind of person." Lin Zihao suddenly spoke. "You are just too naive." Fifth sister Lin Shuejin said angrily. Seeing his son's well-behaved appearance, Lin Hongzhong felt relieved and said with a smile, "Zihao is still well-behaved. I would feel relieved if Lin Ye could be 1/10 as good as you. When Lin Ye comes back, you must persuade your brother." Lin Hongzhong turned back to the living room and was shocked to see the pool of blood that Lin Ye had vomited on the ground. Shouldn't a normal person beg for mercy after being injured? Why are you still walking so resolutely? Looking at the pool of blood, he felt a little upset. Nanny Aunt's son came with professional high-end carpet cleaning agent to clean it. Lin Shishir squatted down, stretched out a finger and smeared a little Lin Ye's blood on the carpet. At this moment, Lin Shishir suddenly remembered Lu Zun's article about eating human steamed buns. She could clearly stand up and plead for Lin Ye, but under her father's authority, she didn't dare to do so. Lin Shishir felt like an ignorant bystander who drank the flesh and blood of others. Every one of them was a cold-blooded spectator as described by Lu Zun, who coldly ate up Lin Ye's bloody bread. Her heart hurts. Lin Shishir went to the same school as Lin Ye, and knew exactly what kind of life Lin Ye had been leading in the Lin family during this period. Living in a mansion, it seems that Lin Ye should have no worries about food and clothing and lead a life like in heaven. In fact, this place is like hell to Lin Ye. He had to do housework when he got home every day, was not allowed to sit at the table for meals, and was even punished by not being allowed to eat. His life was even worse than that of the nanny. The nanny can get a salary of 10,000 yuan a month, but he only gets 100 yuan. It is not an exaggeration to say that he is the person with the lowest status in the entire villa. What's even more humiliating is that Lin Ye tried hard to please everyone in the villa, but was rejected without exception. His stepmother resented him, his father beat him, his sisters disliked him, and the nanny thought he was taking their jobs. Almost no one welcomed him. Even Lin Shishir herself, her attitude towards Lin Ye was more out of sympathy. Lin Ye lives a life worse than pigs and dogs here, so much so that Lin Shishir often suspects that her second sister is right. If he doesn't want the Lin family's property, why doesn't he just leave? But now, Lin Ye is finally gone, and Lin Shishir feels as if something is missing in her heart, feeling empty and uncomfortable. "Butler Liu, chase him and send him to the hospital," Lin Hongzhong ordered. "Dad, I'll go," Lin Shishir volunteered. "My daughter, don't fall into that boy's trap. He's after our property. It's best to let him go. Out of sight, out of mind," the stepmother said angrily, gritting her teeth. "Dad, let me go. I'm his classmate. No matter what, you can't let him leave like this." Lin Shishir's eyes were wet. "Okay, go ahead. If you need money, tell me." "No, I have money." Lin Ye chased after him. Everyone looked at each other. Everyone knew that something was wrong. What was originally just a matter of stealing underwear turned into a bloody incident. "You're going too far." Eldest sister Lin Ye said this and left with a frosty face. Among the family, only Lin Ye dared to speak to Lin Hongzhong with this attitude, and she was the only one who dared to deny her stepmother Yang Fang from beginning to end. "Sister, Dad is doing this for Lin Ye's own good," Lin Zihao explained. Lin Ye ignored him. The stepmother was displeased and said, "This girl is becoming more and more lawless. Old Lin, you have to pay more attention to her." Lin Hongzhong secretly had a headache. Their family was happy when their ex-wife Su Wanwan was around. Lin Ye was an orphan. When he came to their home, how much did he try to please his family? He was simply a clingy person, and he could talk a lot to anyone. The 7 daughters were annoyed by him, and only Su Wanwan could patiently chat with him. I don't know since when, Lin Ye changed from an optimistic and outgoing young man to a taciturn person. Lin Hongzhong rubbed his brows and said in a deep voice, "Rebellious son, wait till you come back crying and beg me, I will beat you to death." Chapter 5, The Campus Belle in a Floral Dress. "Lin Ye! Wait for me." A familiar voice came from behind, and Lin Ye turned his head. The other person has a pair of lively big eyes, a high nose bridge, thin red lips, and an exquisite oval face, which is simply beautiful to the sky. Wearing a floral dress, a clean face and a fresh temperament, she gives people the feeling of breathing fresh air. Who else could it be if not the school beauty Lin Ye? "Lin Ye, come with me to the hospital." Lin Ye tried to support Lin Ye. "Need not." Lin Ye shook her hand off. "Why? You're so badly injured. Just bandage it casually. My life is not as precious as yours," Lin Ye said. After being reborn, he has a thorough understanding of some things. Whatever wealth and glory others give you will ultimately belong to them. Only what you create with your own hands is reliable. In this life, he must start his own business and refuse to be someone else's vassal. Lin Ye frowned and said, "Why do you talk to me like that? Have I ever been bad to you before?" Lin Ye laughed instead of getting angry. "Why can't I say that? Also, are you sure you were very nice to me before? What did you give me?" "I?" Lin Ye was just about to say that she gave Lin Zihao a pair of AJ running shoes and a Sony camera, but then she remembered that she gave all these things to Lin Zihao, and not a single one to Lin Ye. On his last birthday, his dad gave Lin Zihao $1 million motorcycle. The family only celebrates Lin Zihao's birthday, and no one knows Lin Ye's birthday. The treatment of the two people is as different as heaven and earth. "Yes, I'm sorry," she whispered. "You don't have to say sorry to me." Lin Ye waved his hand. He walked to a small clinic on the street and asked the doctor to bandage him. "What's wrong with you? Your bones are all dislocated, but you still insist on walking." After the examination, the doctor frowned and said, "Here he is." Lin Ye smiled indifferently. However, Lin Ye could sense a hint of sadness in this smile. If Lin Zihao was injured so badly, their whole family would probably be alarmed. His father would even put down his work and come to the hospital to visit him, and his sisters would take turns to stay by his bedside and take care of him. On the other hand, if Lin Ye hadn't insisted on coming, there would probably be only one servant coming to visit. Alone, cold and lonely. Maybe in the Lin family, Lin Ye is even worse than a servant. "You are his girlfriend, right? You didn't even bother to call a car to take him to the hospital, delaying his condition." The doctor suddenly spoke to Lin Ye. Lin Ye blushed and waved her hands hurriedly. No, I just think of him as my younger brother." "You are sister." The doctor stopped talking halfway, shook his head, and didn't continue. Lin Ye's nose felt sore. She knew what the doctor wanted to say. Her sister was so incompetent. Under the influence of her stepmother, she thought that Lin Ye stayed to compete with them for the family property, and secretly regarded Lin Ye as an enemy. When her stepmother scolded Lin Ye, she even felt that her stepmother was right and Lin Ye deserved it. She didn't know when, but she and her family had already excluded Lin Ye. "The total consultation fee is 132 yuan, said the doctor. Lin Ye took out a few crumpled bills. The reason he didn't go to a big hospital was to save some money. Big hospitals always conduct various tests, which not only wastes a lot of money but also takes time. "No, I'll pay for it." Lin Ye hurriedly took out her mobile phone to pay, wanting to make up for the mistakes she had made over the years. No need. I don't owe your Lin family anything. Lin Ye suddenly yelled. He handed the money to the doctor and turned to leave. Lin Shisha looked at his back and her eyes turned red. She felt like she was nailed to the spot. She wanted to take a step forward and chase after him to apologize, but she didn't have the courage. Over the years, she had witnessed all the abuse that Lin Ye had suffered in the Lin family. But she didn't have the courage to stand up and seek justice for Lin Ye, and instead sided with the abuser. Lin Shisha remembered what her stepmother said: Lin Ye stayed here just because he coveted the Lin family's property. Is this really the case? She doubted her stepmother's words. Lin Ye was not that kind of person at all. The other side. Lin Ye breathed a sigh of relief when he saw that the other party did not catch up. With gauze on his head, he took a bus to a village in the city. This place is quite far from Qianhai No. 1 Middle School, and it takes more than an hour to get there by car. But the advantage is that the rent is cheap. Lin Ye doesn't have much money, so he can only afford to rent a house like this. I spent 800 yuan to rent a small studio of 10 square meters. Although this place is not as prosperous as the Lin family mansion, it is free. For Lin Ye, this is his own little world. There are no restrictions here. He can sleep whenever he wants and no one will bother him. He will live here until the college entrance examination. I went downstairs to the small supermarket to buy toiletries and some hangers. There was no bed in the rental house, but luckily it was summer, so I just had to lay out a large cardboard box. He was an orphan since childhood and had slept on the streets many times. For him, even the current life is many times better than before. After finishing these things, he planned to start preparing for the college entrance examination. After having his leg broken in his previous life, he foolishly gave up the college entrance examination. The college entrance examination will not determine a person's entire life, but it can affect a person's future achievements. The stupid things I did in my previous life must never be repeated in this life. The college entrance examination will be in 2 months. Lin Ye's grades are not bad, so it will not be difficult for him to enter a top-performing arts academy. The Lin family is a well-known entertainment tycoon in China. They can ban a top star with just a few words. Almost all of the 7 sisters in the Lin family have devoted themselves to this industry, either as movie stars, singers, directors or producers. Lin Ye is familiar with this industry and has no plans to change careers. In the previous life, after Lin Zihao took control of the Lin group, his 7 sisters were played around in his hands. It was then that Lin Ye realized how cunning Lin Zihao was. He had never seen anyone more patient and shameless than Lin Zihao. He banned his 7 sisters and used all kinds of tricks to make them heavily in debt. Then he pretended to be a good guy to save them and made sexual advances towards the 7 sisters. When the time was ripe, Lin Zihao tore off his gentlemanly mask, revealing his true face as a beast, intending to defile his 7 sisters. Lin Shisha was a well-known actress at the time, but after her father's accident, her career suffered a severe blow and she was in debt of tens of millions. Lin Zihao slowly approaches Lin Shisha under the pretext of settling her debts. He sets a trap at a drinking party, takes some photos, and uses Photoshop to graft these photos onto the heroine of an action movie, ruining Lin Shisha's reputation. Forcing her to jump off the roof. Thinking of the beautiful girl in the floral dress who had just been killed and turned into a cold corpse, Lin Ye felt upset for no reason. Chapter 6: You are such a good mother. For the next 2 days, Lin Ye lived a stable and regular life. Go to classes, study, and exercise. He was ostracized in the Lin family for a long time. His stepmother used various reasons to not let him eat and assigned him heavy housework. He is now 1.8 meters tall and weighs only about 100 kilograms. It is not an exaggeration to describe him as skinny. He has eaten something good these 2 days, and his complexion has improved a lot, and his face is not as pale as before. His health was gradually getting better, and the problem facing Lin Ye was money. He only brought out 2,000 yuan in total, and after paying for rent and other miscellaneous expenses, he had less than 300 yuan left. He is going to start planning his own money-making project. As a reborn person, there are many ways for him to make money. The most straightforward thing is to write some songs and sell them, and using the knowledge gained from his rebirth, it will not be a problem for him to become popular on the internet. But the problem before him was, he didn't even have a cell phone. 2 years ago, in order to make him disappear, the stepmother instructed Lin Zihao to steal Lin Ye's mobile phone when the family was visiting the Dalongshan Primeval Forest, and abandoned him in the Primeval Forest, hoping that Lin Ye would be taken away by a jackal, or even worse, by a poisonous snake or a wild brown bear. Better to die in the forest. But Lin Ye was lucky. After hiking 20 kilometers in the primeval forest, he met a climber who saved him. Afterwards, Lin Ye returned to his family dressed as a homeless man, but was despised by his stepmother, who scolded him for delaying the family's trip. That day, Lin Ye felt very guilty. He had dragged down the 7 goddess sisters and caused the whole family to wait for him for 2 days. He felt so bad that he slapped himself to apologize to everyone. Thinking about it now, it's really ridiculous. If it weren't for Lin Zhao's proud boasting to him after he took over the Lin family, explaining how he had been gradually squeezed out of the Lin family over the years and calling him a fool. If it weren't for these words, Lin Ye would have been kept in the dark his entire life. That day, Lin Ye felt more regretful, regretting that he had not seen everything clearly earlier. Now, Lin Ye needs a mobile phone. As long as he has a mobile phone, he can use the knowledge of rebirth to make money. 300 yuan definitely can't buy a good mobile phone, he has to go work and earn money first. Opposite the house he rented was a construction site. As long as one was willing to work hard, the salary would not be low. Lin Ye decided to give it a try. On the other side, the Lin family villa. Lin Hongzhong has been busy with business at the company for 3 days and finally has time to go home today. When he saw the white carpet, he couldn't help but recall the blood that Lin Ye vomited that day. Frowning, he asked, "Where's Lin Ye?" "My lord, young Master Yi hasn't come back yet," said Butler Liu. Lin Ye is an orphan brought back by Su Wanwan. Su Wanwan regards him as her savior, and the servants call him young Master Yi. "What, you mean he hasn't come back in the past 3 days?" "Yes. Didn't you go look for him?" "Well." Butler Liu paused, as if he was about to say something. "Madam said there's no need to look for him. He will come back on his own if he wants to." "Nonsense." Lin Hongzhong slammed the table angrily, scaring housekeeper Liu so much that he shrank his neck. "Bring him back immediately." 1 day later, on a rainy night, Lin Hongzhong dragged his tired body back home. As soon as he got home, Butler Liu came up to him and said, "Master, we can't find young Master Yi." "How is that possible?" Lin Hongzhong raised his eyebrows in anger. "We went to the young master's school and asked him. He didn't go to class yesterday." "Where did he go?" Butler Liu shook his head. "Waste." Lin Hongzhong's chest heaved with anger. He immediately called his family downstairs. "What's wrong with you? Don't you care?" Lin Hongzhong pointed at their noses and scolded. Yang Fang curled her lips. "He ran away from home out of anger, so if he has the ability, just let him go. Why don't you go looking for the person who disappeared? Aren't you Lin Ye's stepmother? How can you be a mother?" Lin Hongzhong scolded. The stepmother choked. She just wanted Lin Ye to leave this home completely and even wished he would die. How could she possibly send someone to look for Lin Ye? "Dad, we all thought he would come back on his own," said the second sister Lin Qinshuan. "It has been 4 days since Lin Ye left the Lin family. During these 4 days, he seemed to have disappeared from the face of the earth and there has been no news of him. The first 2 days were fine, and no one was in a hurry. They thought that Lin Ye was greedy for the Lin family's property and would definitely return in disgrace. As a result, it was already the 4th day, and Lin Ye was still nowhere to be seen." "Shisha, he is your classmate and also a member of our Lin family, why don't you care about him?" Yang Fang shouted. Lin Shisha's throat was dry, as if something was stuck in it, and she couldn't speak. After what happened that day, she felt guilty towards Lin Ye and didn't dare to face him. She even hid herself and didn't dare to go to him these days. "It's all your fault." Yang Feng shifted his fire. "Mom." Second sister Lin Qinshuan said unhappily, "Lin Ye is an outsider anyway, if he wants to leave, just let him go." "How dare you? Damn it." Lin Hongzhong's temples throbbed. "You haven't received any calls or messages from Lin Ye in the past few days." "Dad, don't worry about him. Lin Ye is after our family's property. In a few days, he will definitely come back in disgrace." Fourth sister Lin Xinluo said. "Stop talking nonsense and go ask." Lin Hongzhong rubbed his temple. "Okay." Lin Xinluo had no choice but to send a message to the WeChat group immediately, and then said, "They all replied to me just now, Lin Ye didn't contact us. Why don't you call him?" A sharp light flashed in Lin Hongzhong's eyes. Why are you so fierce? Lin Shenluo murmured, and then said, who among you has his phone number? You don't have his phone number. Lin Hongzhong was surprised. I remember there was one before, but then I felt he had ulterior motives, so I deleted him. You, the elder sister. Lin Hongzhong was angry and looked at the others. Call him quickly. Sixth sisters Lin Shisha and Lin Zhujiu shook their heads, and the others did the same. Don't tell me that as sisters, you don't have Lin Ye's phone number. Lin Hongzhong raised his voice. Lin Shisha lowered her head in shame. What about you? As a mother, you can't not even have your son's phone number, right? Lin Hongzhong looked at Yang Fang coldly. Yang Fang's face suddenly turned ugly. She knew exactly what was going on. It was she who instructed Lin Zihao to steal Lin Ye's cell phone last year. Lin Ye doesn't even have a cell phone, so how could he have a phone? I'll look for it. Yang Fang pretended to flip through the address book, then pretended to be annoyed and said, there are too many people I contacted. I forgot what the note for Lin Ye was. Lin Hongzhong sneered. You are such a good mother. Chapter 7. Does Lin Ye have a cell phone? Yang Fang is a mother, but she can't even remember her son's cell phone number. This at least proves that Yang Fang doesn't care about Lin Ye at all, and has never even called Lin Ye to show her concern. At this time, Lin Shisha raised her hand weakly. Dad, Mom, did you forget? Lin Ye's phone is lost. When was it lost? Lin Hongzhong blurted out. Last year, our whole family went to Delangshan Primeval Forest Park. Lin Ye lost his phone and lost contact with us. He was not found until 2 days and 2 nights later. Lin Hongzhong thought about this incident. He was very angry at that time. Lin Ye was such a grown-up, but he could get lost just by walking. He was a waste and scolded him on the spot. As for the lost cell phone, he had long forgotten about it. He asked, then he must have bought a new phone, so you don't have his phone number. This. Lin Shisha seemed to be hesitant to speak, not knowing how to answer. Stepmother Yang Fang glared at Lin Shisha and signaled her to stop talking nonsense. Speak. Lin Hongzhong said loudly. Lin Ye seems to not have a cell phone. Lin Shisha said in a low voice. How is it possible? In modern society, there are no adults who don't even have a mobile phone. Lin Hongzhong widened his eyes. He looked at Yang Fang. Didn't you buy it for him? Yang Fang was a little nervous and said, I forgot. Humph. Lin Hongzhong snorted coldly and looked at Lin Shenluo. As his sister, you didn't buy him a mobile phone. Why should I buy it for him? He just wants our Lin family's wealth. I won't spend a penny on him. Lin Shenluo said unhappily. Shut up. Lin Hongzhong glared at her, then looked at Lin Shisha. You didn't buy it for him either. Lin Shisha said a little aggrievedly, no. Call your eldest sister, second sister, and third sister. They should have bought some for Lin Ye. Yang Fang said. Lin Shisha made the phone call, but the 3 sisters had no idea that Lin Ye didn't have a cell phone, let alone buy anything for him. The third sister, Lin Nanji, is a surgeon. She is so busy every day that she has no time to rest. Working overtime is the norm. It is just like the saying goes, if you persuade others to study medicine, God will strike you with lightning. The second sister, Lin Qinshuan, is an actress and is often out on the road attending to announcements. Eldest sister Lin Yubing is in charge of half of the Lin Group's business and has basically no time to deal with such matters. The 3 sisters are all busy people. You guys. Lin Hongzhong glanced at everyone angrily and sneered, great job. Everyone hung their heads in shame. Lin Shenluo curled her lips and said, Dad, didn't you buy it for him either? Lin Hongzhong, can I be like you? I'm busy outside. Yang Fang sneered, are you busy with work or with the mistress? You? Lin Hongzhong knew he was in the wrong and remained silent. What should we do now? Lin Shisha asked. Butler Liu said, the young master didn't go to school yesterday, and the teachers at school don't know where he lives. This evil creature is simply outrageous. He hasn't come back yet. Does he want us to beg him? Lin Hongzhong said angrily. He immediately asked Butler Liu to prepare the car and walked outside. Come here all together, I will beat this rebellious son to death. Dad, where are we going? Lin Shisha asked. Go to your school. Half an hour later, the 5 people gathered at Qianhai No. 1 Middle School. Lin Ye. I'm his class teacher. Who are you? Class teacher Liu Mingjun looked at them warily. We are his family. Lin Hongzhong said. Impossible. Liu Mingjun said without thinking, Lin Ye is an orphan, and he is the only one registered in the household registration book. Lin Hongzhong's face looked a little unhappy. When Su Wanwan brought Lin Ye home, he firmly disagreed to adopt Lin Ye, and did not move Lin Ye's household registration in. He only provided Lin Ye with food and accommodation, intending to treat him like a servant. Later, it was Su Wanwan's hard work that made Lin Ye look like a young master in the Lin family. We are really his family. Can you tell me where he is now? Lin Hongzhong said. I don't know where he is. Lin Ye has always been alone in school and often asks classmates for money. Sun Shuzhen looked up and down at Lin Hongzhong and his wife. You don't look poor, so how did you let Lin Ye live so miserably? What do you mean by borrowing money? Does my Lin family still need to borrow money from others? Are you mistaken? Lin Hongzhong looked arrogant and obviously dissatisfied. It's true. If you don't believe me, ask Lin Shisha. Everyone looked at Lin Shisha, only to see her nod slightly, indicating that this was true. This little bastard gives him so much money every month, but he still borrows money from everyone. He is simply bringing shame to our Lin family. If he dares to come back, I will beat him to death. Lin Hongzhong's expression was extremely ugly. Their head teacher didn't know where Lin Ye was, so everyone came out of the school and returned to the car. Sitting in the distinguished Rolls-Royce, Lin Hongzhong was furious and said angrily, when he comes back, none of you should beg for mercy for him. If this kid is not beaten up, he will completely rebel. Actually. Lin Shisha was about to say something when her stepmother glared at her fiercely. Lin Shisha seemed to want to say something but stopped herself. Finally, she sighed and said nothing. Lin Hongzhong didn't realize that all this was done by Yang Fang. He immediately said, call them and ask them to go home. Oh, and Zahao too. Don't disturb Zahao. He's going to take the college entrance exam soon and his studies are very stressful. There's no need to make a fuss over an outsider. If Lin Ye wants to leave, just go. Yang Fang said. She felt bad, as she had thought that after she drove Lin Ye away, the family wouldn't care at all. What a surprise! This husband who usually neglects his family actually values Lin Ye so much. He usually doesn't seem to care about her, so who is he pretending to be enthusiastic for at this time? In her original plan, she would first make everyone in the Lin family hate Lin Ye, and then find a suitable reason to drive Lin Ye away, making it impossible for him to stay in this family. In this way, everything would be fine and no one would compete with her son for the inheritance rights. But after Lin Ye really left, this husband became the most nervous. What she didn't know was that Lin Hongzhong didn't care about Lin Ye. What he really cared about was his personal dictatorship. Lin Ye could only leave if he told him to. This was his final authority. Shut up. I have the final say here. Lin Hongzhong interrupted without any hesitation. Yang Fang's eyes suddenly turned red. Lin Hongzhong. Do you really take me seriously? I am your wife after all, can't I say a word? Shut up, you're disgusting. Lin Hongzhong glared at her with disgust. Lin Hongzhong, I'm going to fight you. The stepmother pounced on him with her teeth bared, and Lin Hongzhong slapped her in the face. After a while, the stepmother, who couldn't beat her husband, wiped her tears and cried, complaining in front of her daughter that her husband was a piece of shit. Lin Hongzhong smoked silently in the car, looking out the window without saying a word. Lin Shisha, Lin Zhujiu and Lin Shinluo looked at each other and saw helplessness in each other's eyes. This kind of thing would never happen when Su Wanwan was around. Wanwan's mother was gentle and considerate, and her father took good care of her. They would never speak loudly at home. But everything changed since Wanwan's mother passed away. My father became restless and turned from a gentleman into a beast. He would beat and scold people at every turn. He abused my stepmother and called her a bitch and other ugly words. My stepmother often yells and screams at home. She is not dignified at all. If I have to describe her in one word, she is a shrew. The relationship between husband and wife is very bad. There is a small quarrel every 2 days and a big quarrel every 3 days. He also throws things all the time, and the house is often filled with bang 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 noises from morning to night. This home is becoming less and less like a home. Chapter 8, Construction Site Horror. Ding ding. Lin Hongzhong's cell phone rang. Okay, I'll be right there. After hanging up the phone, he said, "There's a document at the construction site that I need to sign. Come with me." After saying this, he stepped on the accelerator and rushed out without waiting for his three daughters to agree. The afternoon sun in midsummer is extremely scorching, as if hanging overhead, scorching everyone who passes by. As soon as Lin Hongjung got out of the car, a heat wave swept over him and his forehead was slightly sweaty. For family members sat in the car, enjoying the air conditioning. This construction site was filled with smoke and dust, and was close to an urban village. Their migrant workers were wearing vests soaked with sweat, and their faces were dark and oily from being exposed to the sun for a long time. Lin Shisher is a rich lady and this is her first time at the construction site. She rolled down the window out of curiosity, and the heat wave came into the car. "It's so hot, turn it off quickly," said the stepmother displeased. "Oh." Lin Shisher responded, closed the car window, and looked out curiously. The stepmother looked at him with disdain and said, "These poor people work hard all their lives but can't earn much money. They are destined to be slaves. If you get injured on a construction site, the boss will shirk responsibility and you'll have no choice but to suffer in silence. They have no future in life, you must not learn from them." Lin Shisher nodded thoughtfully. Her thoughts are different from her stepmother's. Her stepmother always looks at everything from a superior perspective, while Lin Shisher feels more sympathy for these migrant workers. Looking at the migrant workers moving bricks at the construction site, Lin Shisher's pupils suddenly shrank and she shouted, "Look, Lin Ye! How is it possible? How could Lin Ye be here?" Seventh sister Lin Juju didn't take it seriously. "Let me see." Fourth sister Lin Shinluo saw through the car window a skinny young man on the construction site. He was wearing a white t-shirt, shorts, and a pair of flip-flops. He had handsome features and looked a little handsome. At this moment, the man was sweating profusely and bending down to lift a pile of bricks. "You know what, he really looks like Lin Ye," Lin Shinluo said. "It's him?" Lin Shisher said anxiously, "Look at the blood stains on his white t-shirt, they were from when he fell down the stairs that day." Lin Shisher had followed Lin Ye to the small clinic and had an impression of the location of the blood stain. At this moment, their white t-shirt had already been soaked with sweat and stained with dust from the construction site, and looked very dirty. "It's really him." Lin Shinluo opened her mouth in surprise. Lin Ye was moving bricks at the construction site. Wearing gloves, he skillfully piled bricks on the cart, making the pile higher than a mountain. Then he bent his waist slightly, gritted his teeth, gathered all his strength to lift the cart, and pushed it forward. It can be seen that his leg injury has not healed yet, and he was limping when pushing the cart. "Lin Ye!" Lin Shisher burst into tears, got out of the car and ran towards Lin Ye. Seventh sister Lin Juju was extremely shocked. "Why is he here?" Lin Ye, who everyone couldn't find, was actually moving bricks on the construction site. "Why has it come to this? Why has it come to this?" Lin Juju called her father and said, "Dad, come down and find Lin Ye." "What?" After a brief moment of shock, Lin Hongjung on the other end of the phone immediately said in a deep voice, "Watch him, don't let him run away, or I'll beat him to death." "Dad, you'd better come over and take a look first." Lin Juju felt a little reluctant. "Coming right up." Lin Hongjung hung up the phone. Lin Juju and Lin Shinluo got out of the car immediately. Seeing that their stepmother was still in the car, they asked, "Aren't you going to get out of the car to see Lin Ye?" The stepmother glanced at him indifferently and said calmly, "It's so hot, I'll be sweating if I get off the car, I won't get off." Lin Juju felt angry for no reason and glared at her stepmother. "I can only make 300 a day. If my leg wasn't injured, 500 a day wouldn't be a problem." Lin Ye muttered as he moved the bricks. He has been moving bricks for 3 days. As long as he finishes today's work, he will have more than 1,000 yuan, which is enough to buy him a mobile phone. As long as he has a mobile phone, he can make money through the internet. Hundreds of millions or even billions are not a problem for him. Things will slowly get better. Just as he bent down to pick up a brick, a pair of white little feet came into view, and above that was a familiar floral skirt and a beautiful oval face, looking at him with tearful eyes. Lin Shisha. Lin Ye's hand trembled and the brick in his hand almost fell to the ground. He didn't expect to meet Lin Shisha on the construction site. Would a rich girl come to such a place? Lin Ye was too lazy to pay attention to her, making money was more important. Lin Ye picked up the last brick, then used all his strength to push the cart. "Lin Ye! Seeing that Lin Ye ignored her, Lin Shishir became even more anxious and shouted hurriedly. Then do you have me as your family in your heart? Lin Ye sneered. Presumptuous. A majestic voice came from behind. Lin Hongzhong took 2 steps at a time, rushed over angrily, and slapped Lin Ye directly on the back of the head. Bang! Lin Ye was caught off guard and was hit so hard that he saw stars, stumbled and fell to the ground. Evil creature! You have grown wings. If you dare to run away from home, I will beat you to death. While cursing, Lin Hongzhong kicked Lin Ye hard in the stomach. Pain. It hurts so much. Dad. Stop hitting me. Lin Shishir cried. Lin Ye struggled to stand up, stared at Lin Hongzhong, and said in a deep voice, Mr. Lin, I have nothing to do with you now. I am very busy, please don't disturb me from making money. Make money. Lin Hongzhong sneered, the Lin family gives you millions every month, and you still come to the construction site to make money. What else can you do except bring shame to the Lin family? Lin Ye said coldly, hundreds of millions. Are you sure? Mr. Lin, you should ask your good wife. Not millions, just hundreds of dollars. Chapter 9. The Lin family caused Lin Ye to have so many diseases. Lin Ye was confronting Lin Hongzhong and his group. Many people looked over here, and several migrant workers wearing yellow safety helmets pointed at the scene. Lin Hongzhong, who loves his reputation, immediately grabbed Lin Ye by the collar and said angrily, Come back with me immediately. Sorry, we are on different paths, please don't disturb me from making money. Lin Ye pushed him away. Lin Shishir said seriously, Lin Ye, be obedient and go back with us, okay? Lin Ye glanced at her and laughed, You have always disliked me as an outsider and coveted your Lin family's property. Now that I am gone, won't it be your wish? Lin Shishir turned her head awkwardly, Come back with us first. Time is precious, please don't interfere with my work. Lin Ye bent down and pushed the cart. I'll help you. Lin Shishir tried to reach out and push the cart, and then she was shocked. With her strength, she couldn't push it even a bit. How heavy is this? Lin Ye has pushed countless carts and endured countless hardships in the past few days. Lin Shishir's tears were forced out, and they cut her delicate cheeks. Hey! If you want to cry, can you just go somewhere else? Lin Ye said helplessly. He turned around and said to everyone, Just think of me being kicked out of the house as having nothing to do with you. Can you please let me go? He certainly didn't intend to go back. Ever since Su Wanwan's death, that place is no longer his home. I have one last thing to say. Come back with me and don't force me to do anything. Lin Hongzhong shouted loudly. Lin Ye ignored him and pushed the cart full of bricks with difficulty. You are a rebellious son. You are rebelling against heaven. Lin Hongzhong was so angry that his face turned red. He raised his fist high and punched Lin Ye hard on the head. The punch was so powerful that Lin Ye was forced to let go of the cart and fell backwards uncontrollably. The cart piled with bricks pressed down directly, and bricks fell, bang bang bang, and covered Lin Ye. When everyone looked closely, they saw that Lin Ye had fainted. R. Lin Shishir let out an ear-piercing scream. 120. Call 120. Everyone hurriedly pushed aside the bricks, revealing Lin Ye whose head was broken and bleeding. Dad! How could you treat Lin Ye like this? He's so pitiful, woo-woo. Lin Shishir burst into tears and glared at Lin Hongzhong resentfully. Lin Hongzhong turned his head with an unnatural look on his face, he fell accidentally. Not long after, Lin Ye was sent to the hospital where his third sister Lin Nanji was. The moment the surgeon Lin Nanji saw Lin Ye with a bloody head, she was shocked and asked, Is this Lin Ye? Lin Shishir nodded, Dad beat me. Lin Nanji looked at Lin Hongzhong in surprise, then pushed Lin Ye into the emergency room. Lin Shishir didn't expect things to turn out like this. Lin Ye did find it, but it would have been worse if he had found it. Looking at Lin Hongzhong's shameless face, she felt a chill in her heart. As for my stepmother, she complained that the hospital corridor was hot and had no air conditioning, so she went home early. What a great couple of parents. Lin Ye's father beat him into the hospital, but his mother thought the hospital was too hot and went back without even looking at Lin Ye in the emergency room. Lin Shishir felt a little sad and felt sorry for Lin Ye. She didn't know why the family had become like this, and tears fell down her face. After a long while, Lin Nanji came out wearing a mask. How is it? Lin Shishir asked. Lin Nanji took off her mask, frowned and said, Mild concussion, forehead wound infection, inflammation, leg fracture. In addition, Xie Ye is also severely malnourished and anemic. Lin Shishir was stunned. Why does Lin Ye have so many problems? Are you sure? Is the diagnosis wrong? Lin Hongzhong obviously didn't believe it. His Lin family is one of the richest families in Qianhai City. They can afford any nutritional supplement. How could he be suffering from malnutrition? It's true. Lin Nanji glanced at Lin Hongzhong and said, and it's long-term malnutrition that has caused serious physical deficiency to the extent that it affects development. How could it be? Lin Shishir was completely stunned, and her eyes turned red with tears unconsciously. She never expected that Lin Ye had so many illnesses. It's all the Lin family's fault. She had been vaguely aware of this fact for so many years, but she just didn't dare to get close to Lin Ye. She had a secret. Lin Nanji handed Lin Hongzhong a sign. Good parent, please sign it. Lin Hongzhong clearly felt the mockery in his third daughter's words, but he had no reason to refute, so he signed his name on the paper. He had written this name countless times and was very familiar with it, but today it seemed particularly glaring. He ordered, Lin Ye is in your care. Just satisfy him with whatever he needs. The others, come back with me. The lobby of the Lin family villa. Lin Hongzhong had a gloomy face, and there was a suffocating atmosphere in the villa. After a while, there was a sound of brakes outside the villa. After closing the car door, a beautiful woman in a white suit and high heels walked in. She is extremely beautiful, with a slender figure. The suit makes her look heroic, and her cold face gives off an aura that says, keep away from strangers. Didn't you say Lin Ye is back? The beautiful woman in white suit walked in and spoke softly. She is Lin Hongzhong's eldest daughter, Lin Yubing, CEO of Lin Group, nicknamed the Iceberg President. He's in the hospital. Lin Shishir said. Why did you go to the hospital? Lin Yubing frowned. Lin Shishir glanced at her father calmly and said, it's all thanks to Dad. Everyone couldn't help but look at Lin Hongzhong strangely. The 7 daughters all knew about their father's temper. When Su Wanwan's mother was alive, her father was very restrained. But after the mother's death, the father seemed like a different person. He no longer loved his 7 daughters. Instead, he concentrated all his love on Lin Zihao. He was afraid that he would melt if he held him in his mouth, and he was afraid that he would fall if he held him in his hands. Typical preference for boys over girls. Except for Lin Zihao and third sister Lin Nanji, who was taking care of Lin Ye in the hospital, everyone else was present. Why don't you buy a mobile phone for Lin Ye? Lin Hongzhong asked first. The 4th daughter, Lin Shenluo, curled her lips and said, he is after our family property. How could I possibly spend money on him? Lin Hongzhong looked unhappy and looked at Lin Yubing. You are the eldest sister in the family, why don't you take care of Lin Ye? Lin Yubing exuded a chill all over his body and said unhappily, oh, today you have a change of heart and started to care about your family. Why didn't I notice you being so proactive before? How dare you? Lin Hongzhong slammed the table and said angrily, I'm your father, how dare you talk like that? Oh, have you fulfilled your duties as a father? Lin Yubing sarcastically said. Lin Hongzhong looked unhappy. He looked at his 2nd daughter, Lin Qinshuan, what about you? Lin Qinshuan's face flushed. He peeked at me taking a shower. I hate him so much, how could I possibly buy him a cell phone? Their whole family had known about this matter for a long time. One day, Lin Ye accidentally entered the toilet and ran into Lin Qinshuan. Since then, Lin Qinshuan has always been at odds with Lin Ye and often makes things difficult for him. What about you? Lin Hongzhong looked at his 4th daughter, Lin Shenluo, and then said, forget it, I shouldn't ask. What about you, Shuejin? Everyone's attention shifted to the 5th daughter, Lin Shuejin, who was a sophomore studying at the Yanqing Film Academy. Lin Shuejin seemed to want to say something but stopped herself. An embarrassing scene emerged in her mind. The problem between her and Lin Ye was similar to that of her 2nd sister, a past that was difficult to talk about. Ever since Lin Ye knew her secret, she no longer dared to talk to him, and tried to avoid him wherever he appeared. Chapter 10. Lin Ye's life in the Lin family is worse than that of the nanny. I'm studying away from home, how would I know he doesn't have a cell phone? Lin Shuejin lowered her head, not daring to tell the secret between her and Lin Ye. What about you? You and Juju are his classmates, why don't you buy him a cell phone? Lin Hongzhong looked at Lin Shishir. Lin Shishir was filled with shame. In fact, she had noticed a long time ago that Lin Ye was being abused by his stepmother. She mentioned it to her father several times and was scolded by her father. After that, she secretly helped Lin Ye. Of course, she didn't dare to do this at home, but chose to give Lin Ye some snacks when he was at school, and even comforted him after his stepmother insulted him. After a few interactions, the two became familiar with each other. Lin Ye took her to play marbles, sandbag throwing, and catching games. These were things she had never experienced before, and she had a lot of fun. Before she knew it, Lin Shisha liked to play with Lin Ye every day when she went to school. But when Yang Fang said that Lin Ye coveted the Lin family's property and portrayed Lin Ye as an unforgivable villain, she believed Yang Fang's words and adopted a distant attitude towards Lin Ye. So, Lin Shisha ignored Lin Ye anymore and deliberately avoided him at school. I remember that Lin Ye came to see her several times at that time, but she ridiculed him with cold words and he never came to see her again. It seemed that Lin Ye cried at that time, and Lin Shisha felt bad too. As time went on, although Lin Shisha saw Lin Ye being abused, she chose to stand by and watch. Lin Shisha stammered, I'm usually busy with my studies. You are so confused. No matter how busy you are, can you be so busy? I think you just don't care about Lin Ye. Lin Hongzhong scolded. Yes. Xiaoqi, what about you? Lin Hongzhong looked at his youngest daughter, Lin Jujiu. Lin Jujiu and Lin Shisha are twin sisters. Lin Jujiu was born 3 minutes later than Lin Shisha, but her personalities are very different from Lin Shisha. If Lin Shisha is a lady from a noble family, then Lin Jujiu is a rebellious girl who often hangs out with questionable people in society. She wears earrings, a hot girl skirt, and her clothes have several holes, which is very non-mainstream. Why should I buy him a mobile phone? Yang Fang was speechless. Lin Hongzhong pointed at her nose and cursed, You are simply not worthy of being a mother. Then are you qualified to be a father? Have you ever cared about your family over the years? Yang Fang retorted. You still have the nerve to say that to me. Am I wrong? This is originally your business. I'm in charge of the outside, and you're in charge of the inside. That's a great way to put all the blame on the person. Seeing that the two were about to fight without caring about their image, the eldest sister Lin Yubing rubbed her eyebrows and said loudly. Shut up, everyone. I'm not here to watch you quarrel. I'm here to deal with Lin Ye's problem. Shisha, report the situation to me. Lin Shisha recounted how Lin Ye had been away from home for 4 days and how she finally found him at the construction site. You're just starting to look for him after he's been gone for so many days. You really care about Lin Ye? Lin Yubing retorted sarcastically. Lin Hongzhong looked unhappy and cursed, This evil beast, the Lin family gives him millions every month, but he still thinks the money is not enough and runs to work on the construction site. He is deliberately trying to discredit the Lin family. I really regret not beating him to death. Lin Shisha thought of the scene where Lin Ye was pinned down by a brick, and her eyes became red. Dad, you misunderstood. Lin Yubing also said, if Lin Ye really has an income of millions per month, it is absolutely impossible for him to work on a construction site. There must be something fishy going on here. The stepmother had an unnatural expression on her face, and she leaned back slightly, trying hard not to attract everyone's attention. Impossible. Lin Hongzhong said without thinking, I give him 1 million yuan every month for living expenses. Are you sure? Lin Yubing asked. Sure. That guy just wanted to embarrass me. He deliberately made me work on the construction site and tried to play a trick on me. How could I not know that little trick? I would have beaten him to death if I had known it earlier. Lin Hongzhong cursed. Dad. Hearing her father's resolute words, Lin Shisha couldn't help but shed tears. She ignored her stepmother's warning look and mustered up the courage to speak out what she had been hiding in her heart. Lin Ye doesn't have 1 million yuan for living expenses. His living expenses have always been only 100 yuan. Impossible. Lin Hongzhong said unhappily, I will transfer each of your living expenses to Yang Fang's card every month and ask her to pass it on to you. Lin Shisha looked at him with tears in her eyes. Dad, don't you realize how Lin Ye got malnourished? Lin Hongzhong's pupils shrank and he looked at Yang Fang in surprise and suspicion. Lin Shisha took a deep breath and said, I asked him personally, and he said that his mother was afraid that he would become a bad person and get cheated if he had money. His mother only gave him 100 yuan a month for living expenses, which was only enough for him to take the bus every day, and it was not enough for food. Therefore, he ate at home every day, and had no money to eat lunch at school, so he went hungry, and he also suffered from serious stomach problems. $100. Hearing this number, everyone present had an expression of disbelief on their faces. What can you do with $100? For them, a tip to a restaurant waiter is more than 100 yuan. Moreover, the bus fare is 2 yuan for round trip per day, which is 120 yuan a month. 100 yuan is not even enough for taking the bus. Lin Hongzhong's face was extremely ugly. He stared at Yang Fang and said word by word, "Is what she said true?" Yang Fang's eyes were somewhat evasive, and she said unhappily, "Lin Ye is here just to covet our Lin family's wealth. If we give him that much money every month, he will definitely not leave. Let me ask you, if I asked you to give him 1 million every month, will you only give him 100? Lin Hongzhong said with a gloomy face. Yang Fang felt a little guilty and avoided the question. "I am doing this for his own good. Do you know that giving a minor so much money is not pampering, but spoiling? This will lead to bad behavior. I am trying to cultivate his good character of hard work and thriftiness since he was young. I'm asking you one last time, are you only giving him $100 a month?" Lin Hongzhong is on the brink of a volcanic eruption. Yes. Yang Fang continued, "He has dirty hands and has stolen a lot of things at home. Even though he was only given 100, he must be very rich. If he had money, he wouldn't go to work on the construction site." Lin Shisher suddenly said. The girls looked at each other and fell silent. Previously, they had never understood why Lin Ye appeared at the construction site. After all, he was the young master of the Lin family, and no matter how poor he was, he would not be like this. Now think about it, Lin Ye worked like a nanny in the Lin family for so many years, and only earned 100 yuan a month, while just doing any job at the construction site could earn more than 100 yuan a day. The nanny earns 10,000 yuan a month, but Lin Ye only earns 100 yuan. Lin Ye, your life in the Lin family is worse than that of a nanny. Chapter 11. 7 Women hold a meeting. Lin Ye, you must come back. Lin Shisher's nose felt a little sour. The Lin family is abusing Lin Ye. The Lin family is a billionaire family. The richest family in Qianhai City. As a result, Lin Ye was given 100 yuan a month for living expenses. Even the poorest family in Qianhai City had to spend more than that. Each of them has millions of living expenses. Lin Yubing said directly, "There is something else at the company. I will go back and deal with it. I have something to do, too." The other 6 daughters also left. They did not sympathize with Yang Fang. Such a vicious stepmother deserved to be beaten. Even better, beating him to death would be best. After a while, the sound of tea sets being broken and smashed was heard downstairs, mixed with the crying of the stepmother. 2 hours later, Butler Liu notified the 7 girls to come downstairs for dinner. The nanny acted quickly. All the broken tables and chairs were replaced with new ones. Even a new carpet was laid, which felt soft to step on. On the table were lobsters, hairy crabs, and puffer fish, all of which were precious ingredients that filled the long square table. The stepmother was nowhere to be seen, and only Lin Hongzhong sat in the main seat arrogantly. "Sit." His voice seemed to be entertaining guests. The 7 ladies took their seats one after another. It was clearly a warm family gathering, but there was an oppressive and terrifying atmosphere. During the meal, no one spoke at the table except for the sound of chewing. Lin Shisher felt a pang in her heart. When Wanwan's mother was around, the dinner table was full of laughter. Everyone could speak without restraint, and the 7 sisters joked with each other, often chasing, running, and fighting in the villa. After the mother shouted a few times, she felt that she couldn't persuade the children's stubborn character, so she stopped trying, smiled, shook her head and said nothing. That kind of warm atmosphere is a pain that Lin Shisher will never be able to get rid of. After Lin Hongzhong finished his meal, he said, "Think about it, should you let Lin Ye come back? After all, he is a man and you are girls." After saying this, he walked out the door. No one responded. After a while, the eldest sister Lin Yubing wiped her mouth with a tissue and said, "Come to my room after dinner." 10 minutes later, all the girls gathered in Lin Yubing's room. At this time, the stepmother and father were not at home, and the nanny and housekeeper were also dismissed. There were only 7 people left in the huge villa, as if they were having some kind of secret party. This is a suite of more than 100 square meters. In the middle there is an incense burner and a black and white photo of a dignified and beautiful woman smiling happily. "Today is the anniversary of my mother's death." Lin Yubing spoke calmly, lit a bunch of incense, and handed 3 sticks to each of her sisters. The 7 girls bowed 3 times in front of Su Wanwan's portrait and placed the incense sticks into the incense burner one by one. The room was unusually quiet. "I called you here today to discuss whether or not to bring Lin Ye back," Lin Ye said. "The eldest sister is like a mother, and her younger sisters are willing to listen to her." "I agree," Lin Ye said first. "Mom loved Lin Ye when she was alive. Now that she's gone, we can't drive him away no matter what." "I agree," said 7th sister Lin Jujiu. "I agree too." 5th sister Lin Shuejin agreed. "I don't agree." 4th sister Lin Shinluo objected. She thought for a moment and said, "Lin Ye is here for our family property. It's best to drive him away." Lin Yibing said in a cold voice, "You didn't believe me when I told you that you have big breasts and no brains. You were fooled by Yang Fang." "What do you mean?" Lin Shinluo looked unhappy. Lin Yibing said calmly, "Stupid. If Lin Ye really wanted our family property, would he only take 100 yuan a month? This shows that he is holding back and has bigger plans. There is no cure. I just can't stand him." Lin Shinluo objected firmly. "Second sister, what do you think?" "I don't agree either," said the second sister Lin Qinshuan. "He is a man after all, and men and women shouldn't be intimate with each other. Last time he even peeped at me taking a bath." Lin Shisha said, "You took a shower without locking the door, and Lin Yi just walked in by mistake. Besides, Zhao is also a man. That's different. Lin Yi has no blood relationship with us. What if he turns out to be a beast?" "Lin Yi is not that kind of person," said Lin Shisha. "Who knows?" Lin Qinshuan curled her lips. "He stole my eldest sister's underwear. If he's not a beast, what is he?" Lin Shisha was speechless. In her impression, Lin Yi is a cautious and pleasing person, and would never do such a thing. Lin Yibing looked at the black and white photo on the wall and said seriously, "No matter what, Lin Yi is my mother's savior, and it was my mother who brought Lin Yi into the Lin family. This cannot be changed. Anyone who disobeys is betraying my mother." After these words were spoken, the atmosphere became a little heavy. The women no longer raised any objection. The deceased Su Wanwan held a very important position in their hearts. Although Su Wanwan never forced them to do anything, the 7 girls listened to her the most. "It's decided then. We must bring Lin Yi back no matter what." Eldest sister Lin Yubing made the final decision. Lin Shisha also said, "Yes, Lin Yi is a member of this family. When Mom was here, everyone was so happy." The 7 women looked at the portrait on the wall and fell silent. "When my mother was around, the house was full of a relaxed atmosphere. At that time, the whole family would gather in the courtyard, drink tea, chat, and ask about the latest situation. Lin Shisha loves desserts. Her mother is afraid that she will damage her teeth, so she always brushes her teeth after she finishes eating. Lin Shisha refused and spit out the foam in her mouth. Her mother always scratched her nose with a smile and continued to brush her teeth. She was carefree at that time and she curled up in her mother's arms, reluctant to leave. There is no rift between the family members, and even the father has a mild temper. He always protects them like a knight. But when Wanwan's mother died, the family was broken. Less than a year after my mother died, my father brought home a woman and an illegitimate child. The stepmother is intolerant and often has no manners and yells at people regardless of the occasion. She is completely different from my mother, who is a lady from a wealthy family. Their father's temper gradually became more irritable, and he was no longer as considerate and attentive to them as before. The house is no longer filled with laughter, but endless quarrels. This home, it is becoming increasingly difficult to return to. Chapter 12. Dr. Lin Nanji. Hospital, ward. Lin Yi rubbed his sleepy eyes and woke up. What came into his sight was a beautiful woman wearing black-rimmed glasses. She looked a bit like Lin Shisha, but more mature and charming. The white doctor's uniform makes her look intellectual and like a literary young woman. "Sister Nanji." Lin Yi's eyes were bigger than a cow's, and his mouth was slightly open, as if he had seen some ferocious beast. He told her, "Why are you looking at me like that?" Lin Nanji covered her mouth and chuckled. Lin Yi suddenly remembered the fear of being dominated by Lin Nanji. Lin Nanji is a medical student. Although she is not a bad person, she liked to play pranks in her early years. She would do small medical experiments on him from time to time and even scare him with dissected frogs and bloody rabbit heads from the laboratory. Sister, I'm fine, there's really no need. Lin Ye said with a wry smile. I am a doctor, I have the final say. Lin Nanji's tone suddenly softened and she sighed. Lin Ye, I've been very busy as a doctor these years and haven't paid much attention to you. I didn't expect you to be having such a hard time. Hearing the other party's concerned voice, Lin Ye's nose felt a little sore. In fact, his life has been very difficult in recent years, and he could easily ask his sisters for money. But he couldn't do that, nor did he want to do that. The stepmother said that he stayed in the Lin family because he was greedy for property and had ulterior motives. He has always wanted to get rid of this rumor. If he opens his mouth and asks his sister for money, it will only confirm the rumor. Once the news gets out, I'm afraid some people will say that he is a parasite of the Lin family, doing nothing but enjoying the benefits of the Lin family. So, Lin Ye held his breath and would rather skip lunch than not have to worry about his innocence. He insisted on doing housework in the Lin family, trying hard to please everyone and praying to gain the respect of his family. Now thinking about it, I was so stupid. It was not obvious that his stepmother was the one who spread the rumors. His stepmother did not want him to stay in the Lin family and wanted to drive him away. In this case, whatever he did was wrong. Even though he did a lot of housework, his stepmother said it was the right thing to do. Even though he had good academic performance, his stepmother didn't care at all. Even though he always greeted his stepmother with a smile, she would still find fault with him and criticize him to pieces. In the final analysis, he just mistook his stepmother for Su Wanwan. Not all mothers are as good as Su Wanwan. Lin Ye, are you angry with me? Lin Nanji's tone was somewhat resentful. No. What do you want to eat? I'll buy it for you. Need not. Lin Ye, do you treat me as an outsider? Lin Nanji was a little angry. Really? I have the money to buy it myself. Lin Nanji pointed at the chat history on her phone and said, my elder sister told me that you only have 100 yuan a month for living expenses, and you work at construction sites to make money. Do you think I don't know? Lin Ye was speechless for a while, and took out a few crumpled bills from his pocket. They were what he earned from moving bricks at the construction site these days. I originally thought that I could get 2,000 with today's salary and buy a good mobile phone. Now I only have a little over 1,000, so I can only buy a broken mobile phone to make do. Sister Nanji, please buy me a mobile phone that can take photos and videos. Lin Ye handed the money over, but Lin Nanji refused to take it. She said unhappily, you are my family. Do I have to use your money to buy you a mobile phone? Sister Nanji, just listen to me. I have to spend my own money to feel at ease. If you spend your own money to buy it for me, I won't accept it. Lin Ye was determined. In his previous life, after Lin Zihao seized the Lin group, he once stood in front of him and said proudly, you are where you are today entirely because of the Lin family. Without the Lin family, you are nothing, worse than trash. At that time, 3 of the 7 sisters had been killed by Lin Zihao. Lin Ye was furious and wanted to go up to argue but was beaten by Lin Zihao's bodyguards. From that time on, Lin Ye made up his mind to carve out a world for himself without relying on any power from the Lin family. Lin Nanji wanted to be nice to him, but he was unwilling to take advantage of such small favors, for fear of being criticized in the future. Oh well. Seeing how determined he was, Lin Nanji couldn't do anything about it. Half an hour later, Lin Nanji returned to the ward with a brand new domestic mobile phone. Lin Ye had already packed up and was sitting on the bed waiting for her. Lin Ye took the phone, installed the new SIM card, tried it out, and found the new phone worked quite well. Lin Nanji played a little trick. Although the mobile phone was bought with Lin Ye's money, the SIM card was a good number that she bought for 100,000 yuan. That's okay, I'll leave first. Good. Lin Nanji blurted out instinctively, and then immediately reacted, pushing Lin Ye down on the bed, with a serious face, you are not allowed to go anywhere. Lin Ye looked at her resolute attitude and nodded seriously. He pretended to obey Lin Nanji's instructions and rested in bed. During this period, he registered a Weibo account. With a mobile phone, he can make money through the internet. An hour later, Lin Nanji just went out to make a phone call, and when she came back, the ward was empty. Lin Ye has long disappeared. Lin Nanji was stunned, your injury hasn't healed yet. I called Lin Ye, but found that the phone was turned off. At this time, the nurse next to him said, Dr. Lin, he has paid the medical bills and has been discharged from the hospital. Lin Nanji is going crazy. Why is this happening? Chapter 13 Lin Ye, I once lost everything. Lin Nanji quickly opened the Seven Fairies group and sent a message. Sisters, there is a bad news and a good news. Which one do you want to hear first? Lin Shuajin immediately said, good news. Lin Nanji, I just bought a mobile phone for Lin Ye. This is his new number 1XX88888888. Everyone at it. Lin Shuajin, good job. JPG. This beautiful number must cost a lot of money, right? Lin Nanji, not much, only about 100,000. Finally I can do something for Lin Ye. No matter how much I helped him before, he never appreciated it. It's all your fault, fourth sister. You always say that Lin Ye is after our property, which has made Lin Ye afraid to spend a penny from us. Eldest sister Lin Yibing criticized him by name. Lin Shenluo, I don't care, he's just after our family's money. Lin Yibing, for our $100. Sneer.jpg. Lin Shenluo was choked and couldn't refute. Lin Yibing said, you bought a mobile phone for Xiaoye. Third sister, you did a great job. You deserve praise. Praise +1. Praise +2. Lin Nanji was praised by everyone in the group, which made her feel a little flattered. Lin Shuajin, this is good news, what about the bad news? Lin Nanji hesitated for a moment, but still said, he secretly paid the medical bills and was discharged from the hospital while I wasn't paying attention. I don't know where he is now. Lin Yibing withdrew a message. Lin Nanji. Lin Yi quickly left the hospital and took the bus home. The third sister Lin Nanji is a very nice person, but he wants to achieve something and prove himself before he can face them. Right now, what is more important is making money. After getting a mobile phone, he will definitely become popular if he sings some songs on the internet. Boss, can I try the guitar? He came to a music store where there were 2 rows of brand new guitars polished to a shine. Lin Yi also considered buying a new guitar and practicing at home. But he doesn't have that money now. After paying the medical bills, I only have $3 left in my pocket. I am really poor. Hey, little brat, do you know how to do it? The boss was a middle-aged man wearing thick glasses. Lin Yi was still wearing the dirty white t-shirt he had worn when he worked on the construction site. His boss was obviously suspecting that he didn't know how to play a musical instrument. Lin Yi is an orphan, but Su Wanwan is a talented musician from a wealthy family. Under her influence, each of them can play a musical instrument. After Lin Yi learned guitar from Su Wanwan, he never stopped practicing. Lin Yi immediately ran to the side to wash his hands, and then showed his clean palms to the boss. Boss, it's clean, don't worry. People who understand musical instruments usually wash their hands before using them, which is a sign of respect for the instruments. Can you really do it? The boss asked. A little bit. Lin Yi grinned. The boss nodded and agreed to lend Lin Yi the guitar. However, he said to his 9-year-old son, you must study hard in the future, otherwise you will be like this person and have no future when you grow up. Obviously, Lin Yi was wearing cheap, dirty clothes from street stalls, and anyone with a discerning eye could tell that he was not doing well. Lin Yi took out his cell phone and turned on the recording function. It was 2012, and short video platforms were not yet popular, so he needed to attract the attention of film and television companies through a song. Recording a song from later generations, Lin Yi sat at the table holding the guitar gently, brewing his emotions. The next moment, he closed his eyes and gently swept his fingers across the strings. Wandering on the road. Are you leaving? Fragile pride. That was me, too. A slightly vicissitudes of life voice sounded, and Lin Yi slowly immersed himself in it. The rhythmic sound of guitar was heard, and the owner of the music store who was waiting to see a joke was suddenly stunned. I don't think I've heard this song. Pu Shu only composed this song in 2014. Now that Lin Yi is singing it, the boss naturally has never heard of it. The sound of the guitar followed, and Lin Yi's deep and rich voice carried a calming power. Boiling and restless. Where are you going? Vaya vaya. There was surprise in the boss's eyes. He could also sing and play the guitar. He could tell at once that Lin Yi had great singing skills, a wide vocal range, and a strong control over his voice. Several students who were learning music in the piano store were attracted by the singing. They stopped playing their instruments and looked at Lin Yi. What a vicissitudes of life! What has this man been through to be able to sing with such a weathered feeling? There is no showmanship in the singing of the tune, and as soon as the song opens, people can feel a sense of vicissitudes. Everyone felt that the song was like a volcano about to erupt, surging, suppressing, and brewing intense emotions. Until the chorus comes. I have crossed mountains and seas. Also through the crowds of people. Everything I once had. In the blink of an eye, everything dissipates like smoke. The plain voice began to growl and fill with powerful emotions. Lin Ye's emotions completely exploded at this moment. He once had everything, including his mother Wanwan and 7 beautiful sisters. But later his mother died, and the 7 daughters were tortured by Lin Zihao, some died and some were disabled. Even if he succeeded in his revenge later, those 7 beautiful sisters and mother Wanwan would never come back. I once fell into endless darkness. I want to struggle and can't help myself. I used to be like you, like him, like the wild grass and flowers. Desperate and longing. I cry and laugh, just being ordinary. After witnessing his 6th sister Lin Shishir being toyed with, abandoned, and finally jumped off a building by Lin Zihao, Lin Ye fell into darkness, with hatred filling his entire chest. He went to seek revenge, but was nearly beaten to death by Lin Zihao. At that moment he fell into endless despair. At that time, he was huddled in a small rental house, listening to this song over and over again. It was this song that gave him the courage to stand up again. I once destroyed everything I had and just wanted to leave forever. I once felt lost, disappointed and lost all my direction. When he sang to this point, Lin Ye couldn't help but feel his eyes moist. 10 years, it took me 10 years to complete my revenge on Lin Zihao. I live in fear every day. He is not afraid of death, but he is afraid of dying before completing his revenge. I tossed and turned countless nights, and just wanted to leave forever. When he thought of the miserable plight of the 7 women, he gritted his teeth and persevered. But when the moment of revenge was completed, he felt a deep sense of loss. His revenge was achieved, but he had lost all direction. With her relatives gone, Lin Yubing is the only one left among the 7 daughters, but she is imprisoned. What is the meaning of such a life? Finally, the song ended. Lin Ye opened his eyes slowly with tears in his eyes. But he found that everyone was staring at him. Many passers-by stopped, staring at this scene with tears in their eyes. Chapter 14. Lin Qinshuan wants this song. The owner of the music store could no longer hold it in. He lowered his head and secretly wiped his eyes. He recalled his youthful dream of music and vowed to his girlfriend that he would become a big star in the future. He tried his best to participate in tours and sing on the streets, but he ended up achieving nothing as he reached middle age. After all, stars are a minority, and most people will be audience members their entire lives. His girlfriend didn't live to see the day when he became successful, so she gave birth to a child for him and left him. Maybe it's just like the lyrics, desperate, eager, crying, laughing, ordinary tilde. Perhaps, mediocrity is the fate of most people. After one song, coupled with Lin Ye's performance and superb singing skills, more than half of the people present were moved to tears by the song. Even those who did not shed tears were deeply touched. Everyone has an extraordinary dream, but as time goes by, the dream becomes a memory of youth. This song interprets life and also interprets the vast majority of ordinary people. Excuse me, what is the name of this song? Asked the music store owner. Ordinary Road. Lin Ye said. Good, it's a really good song, their boss praised sincerely. After doing all this, he edited a title. Ordinary Road, the original lyricist and composer, dedicated to everyone. I hope everyone's ordinary life will be extraordinary. Click to upload. Byte. Video uploaded successfully. Tilde. Lin Ye let out a long breath and finally finished the first song. The next step is to wait quietly for the response. As long as it generates a certain amount of popularity online, music companies will come to buy the copyright. He had no doubt at all whether this song would become popular. He had absolute confidence in this song. You know, this song won numerous awards back then. It would have been unforgivable if it didn't become popular. This song expresses the voices of countless people and was extremely popular back then. I may not win a newcomer award, but I should still be able to make a name for myself. He returned the guitar to his boss. The boss asked, I haven't heard of this song before. Did you write it? Lin Ye nodded. If you need to record, you can use my recording studio for free, said the music store owner. I'm sorry, but the money that needs to be spent still needs to be spent. Okay, but I'll only charge you $1. Why? Lin Ye was surprised. The owner of the music store fell into reminiscence, because when my girlfriend and I were the poorest, we only had $1 in our pockets. Later, when she left, she returned that dollar to me. The owner of the music store is a man with a story, and Lin Ye can see that he also likes music. On the other side, Lin Yubing's room. Several sisters were arguing. He came here just to covet our family property, and he even peeped at me bathing. If I apologize to him, what do you think of me? When the second sister Lin Qinshuan heard Lin Yubing asking him to apologize to Lin Yi, she decisively refused. Impossible, impossible in this lifetime, she said angrily. He slammed the door and left angrily. After returning to the room, she became more and more unwilling to accept the result. Oh, I'm so mad. Lin Qinshuan vented her anger on the teddy bear pillow crazily, and even hit the sandbag, bang bang bang. I'm a singer after all. If you want me to apologize to a nobody, I won't do it even if you kill me. Lin Qinshuan vented for a while, then started browsing his phone out of boredom. She is a musician and usually follows some music channels, which will push some of the hottest singles to her. Suddenly, a message popped up on her Weibo. Ordinary Road sings about everyone's extraordinariness. Attracted by the title, Lin Qinshuan clicked on it. In the video, a boy is holding a guitar and wearing a white t-shirt that is dirty and black, and it seems that he has just returned from a construction site. The boy tried the sound symbolically. When Lin Qinshuan saw that the other party had only a single-digit number of fans, she concluded that this was a second-rate singer and instinctively swiped away. Wandering on the road tilde. What's going on with this feeling of vicissitudes that comes over me? Lin Qinshuan's heart skipped a beat and he paddled back. After listening for a while, her eyes lit up. The slow and lyrical rhythm, clear voice and low singing make the song full of faint warmth and sadness. Good song, this is definitely a good song, the singer sings well, the pronunciation and pitch are all on point. Even though she has seen many famous singers, none of them can sing as well as the boy in the video. Seasoned, mature, magnetic and deep, I simply love this voice. Lin Qinshuan smiled happily. I have to say, this folk song is a breath of fresh air in the music world. It has been 3 years since Lin Yubing debuted. The Lin family has invested a lot of money in her, but she has always been tepid. The reason is that she has never had a famous song. Her singing skills are good, but there is no shortage of people with singing skills in this world. What is lacking are those popular classic songs. Such a good song is hard to come by. Some people can become instantly famous and make a living for the rest of their lives with just one famous song. Lin Qinshuan could conclude that this song, Ordinary Road, was the famous song she had always dreamed of. As long as she has this song, she will soar to the sky and become extremely popular. Success or failure depends on this one move, she must buy this song no matter what. She immediately called Lin Yubing and said hurriedly, "Sister, I found a very good pop song on the internet. I sent you the video. Please buy the copyright. I want to sing it." Lin Qinshuan signed a contract with Lin Yu Media Company, which is a subsidiary of the Lin Group, and Lin Yubing is her boss. On the other end of the phone, Lin Yubing frowned. "Didn't you just leave so decisively? Why are you begging me now? HMPH, anyway, you want me to apologize to Lin Yi? That's impossible." Lin Qinshuan cursed. "You have indeed gone too far over the years." Lin Yubing said. "Impossible. I'm a celebrity. He doesn't have the nerve to ask me to apologize to him. You know, record companies release thousands or tens of thousands of songs every year, but most of them are ignored and end up in the trash. All the songs that make it to the classic list are good songs that can be listened to over and over again." She immediately called her assistant Xiao Wu and asked her to buy the copyright of Ordinary Road for no more than 2 million yuan. You have to know that in 2012, the awareness of copyright protection was not strong, and it was already an astronomical price for an unknown singer to receive such copyright fees. After the call, Lin Yubing listened to Ordinary Road again. She had begun to like this song. Suddenly, she seemed to think of something. Strange, this voice sounds familiar, as if I've heard it somewhere before. On the other side, Lin Yi went to bed after singing the song, and he had no idea that the song Ordinary Road became a huge hit on the internet in just one night. On Weibo, countless big VS forwarded and liked this song, and commented. This song sings about our ordinary life. May all the ordinary things become great, and may all the mediocrity blossom. The world is eager to hear stories about young and promising people, but we are all walking an ordinary path. Who is this singer? His voice is so unique. Lin Ye's voice is a bit deep to begin with, and coupled with his experience of being a human being in 2 lifetimes, when he sings this song it feels like it touches their heart. In just 3 hours, his followers on Weibo exceeded 200,000. This is when he didn't fill in any personal information and even his profile was blank. The number of reposts on the entire network suddenly reached more than 30 million, and the number of likes and comments also increased at a rocket-like speed. More and more people received push notifications or were forwarded by friends. When they clicked on the video out of curiosity, they were instantly attracted by the mood of the song and became part of the forwarding army. The heat continues to rise. Later on, not only Weibo, but even people from the entertainment company were alarmed. At 9 o'clock that evening, this video successfully ranked 4th on Weibo's hot search list. At this moment, the headquarters of Huai Media Group. There was a knock on the door of singer Liu Fei's office, and her agent Sister He happily pushed the door open with a document in her hand. Sister He handed over the tablet in her hand. Fei, haven't you always wanted to find a famous song? I think I found it. What? Liu Fei, who was putting on makeup, paused, a hint of joy flashed across her brows. Really? Really? There's a singing video that just ranked 4th on Weibo's hot search list. The singer isn't a professional singer. As long as we buy the copyright of this song, you'll have your famous song. Liu Fei was overjoyed. Like countless other singers, she had been tepidly popular for several years after her debut and had no famous songs. She would be washed away by the waves and gradually disappear from people's sight. For a singer like her, trying to make it in the entertainment industry is like rowing against the current. If she doesn't move forward, she will fall behind. You need to keep mixing exposure, otherwise you will eventually be forgotten by people. But it's different if you have a famous song, it will be remembered by people for the rest of their lives. Show it to me now. Liu Fei took the tablet from Sister He, but when she saw the blogger's profile, she frowned. Why doesn't this person have an introduction? He is a new account that was registered today. He just released a song. Moreover, this video became popular without any streaming. Once you buy his song, it will become even more popular. Sister He looked excited. Liu Fei was overjoyed when she heard Sister He's words. New account. A song can be ranked 4th on the trending search list. This is incredible. As she spoke, she clicked the play button on the video. After the song, Liu Fei fell silent. This was the first time in her long career as a singer that she had heard such a thought-provoking song. Isn't he the line in the lyrics, I've crossed mountains and seas, and also walked through crowds of people, talking about her? She has been struggling for so many years, without any connections or background, and can only rely on her own diligence to move forward step by step. This song expresses her bitterness. Liu Fei looked at the other party's online name carefully. Night. A very interesting online name. Liu Fei said excitedly, Sister He, I will do whatever it takes to get the copyright of this song, even if it means risking my entire fortune. You must help me find this person. I want to do it myself. I want this song. Sister He nodded vigorously, happily took the tablet and left the office. Liu Fei opened her phone and listened to the song in its entirety again. Still so vicissitudes. This man has a nice voice. I wonder if he is handsome. Lin Ye got up at 5 o'clock. He didn't know yet that his song had caused a sensation on the internet. He quickly washed up and ran around the urban village for his morning exercise. Due to not eating lunch for a long time and being abused by his stepmother in the Lin family, this body is in worse condition than imagined and is seriously depleted. After running only 2 kilometers, I was already out of breath. He felt his pocket and found only $3 left. He decided to just run to school and use the saved bus fare to buy 3 steamed buns for breakfast. Absolutely perfect. When Lin Ye ran more than 10 kilometers and arrived at school, he was so tired that his throat was dry and his head was dizzy. Long-term malnutrition caused him to suffer from anemia, and exercising on an empty stomach in the morning was too much for his body to bear. Boss, give me a bottle of mineral water and 2 steamed buns. After Lin Ye spent the only $3 he had, he was completely penniless. He sat in the classroom without caring about his image, eating steamed buns and drinking mineral water. Thinking about how I spent my last life alone in pursuit of revenge. In this life, he should also think about himself and think about what kind of wife he should look for. Forget it. I'm penniless now. I'll talk about it when I have money later. Just like the saying goes, how can a poor man dare to enter the prosperous world? How can a clean-handed man dare to miss a beautiful woman? Suddenly, a pair of delicate little feet came into view. Lin Ye was wearing a white floral dress. Her fair oval face had a pair of beautiful eyes that sparkled with charming light as she looked around. Lin Ye. Lin Ye said hesitantly, where have you been? Everyone at home is very worried about you. Are you worried that I will covet your Lin family's property? Lin Ye asked back. Lin Ye looked embarrassed and said coquettishly, Lin Ye, I misunderstood you before. I apologize to you. Lin Ye stared at the beautiful girl in front of him in a daze, slightly distracted. I remember that in his first year of high school, he was very familiar with Lin Ye. His stepmother didn't let him eat, so Lin Ye suffered from long-term malnutrition and was very thin. After arriving at school, Lin Ye secretly bought delicious rice balls for him to eat and kept counseling him. She would also pick out the meat from her meals and give it to Lin Ye, saying that she was trying to lose weight. During the evening study session, she would buy him some delicious food. She would take a bite and Lin Ye would take a bite, and they were not awkward at all. It was the girl in front of him who led him through those difficult years. The other person is beautiful, considerate, and willing to communicate with him on an equal footing. Lin Ye feels that there is no one more perfect than Lin Ye in the world. But suddenly, not only did the girl refuse to go out with him again, but even when he met her at home, she ignored him, pretending not to see him and looking indifferent. Lin Ye saw alienation and disgust in the girl's eyes. Falling from heaven to hell. At that time, Lin Ye was really hurt. Chapter 16 You Don't Owe Me Anything. After the incident with Lin Ye, Lin Ye sealed his heart and began to distance himself from the 7 daughters of the Lin family. Even if the 7 ladies showed their affection to him, he ignored them. It was because of his inferiority complex and his self-esteem that he didn't dare to accept their kindness openly. He was afraid that if he did that, he would not be able to face them anymore. He was even more afraid that they would say that he was coveting the Lin family's property. No need to apologize, you don't owe me anything. Lin Ye said coldly. Seeing him like this, Lin Ye became even more anxious. I know my stepmother only gives you 100 a month, but I dare not tell Dad. I feel sorry for you. Lin Hongzhong is very fierce. Last time Lin Ye reported to him that Yang Fang abused Lin Ye, Lin Hongzhong not only did not help Lin Ye, but also scolded Lin Ye. Lin Ye's cold expression gradually softened. He said, this is not your fault, you don't have to blame yourself. Have you really forgiven me? Lin Ye's eyes lit up, you're not angry with me. Why should I be angry with you? Lin Ye curled his lips. Then it's a deal, you forgive me. Lin Ye said with a smile. She took out a lunchbox from her bag and said, I specially prepared this breakfast for you. You must eat it all. No need. Lin Ye kept his distance from the other party and said coldly, I won't touch your Lin family's things. The girl's eyes were covered with mist, and she said, Lin Ye, do you hate me so much? That day, Lin Ye was kicked out of the house by Lin Hongzhong. She guessed that Lin Ye must be hating her for not standing up for him. She sat down next to Lin Ye, opened the thermal box, and ate fried dumplings while crying. She looked so pitiful, as if Lin Ye had bullied her. Hey, why are you crying? Lin Ye was helpless. What's it got to do with you? Lin Ye ate the dry fried dumplings proudly and choked. Lin Ye tried to offer her some water, but she pushed him away. The two of them were sitting in the classroom, and many classmates were staring at them. Since Lin Ye had kept her distance from Lin Ye before, no one knew about their relationship. At this time, a strong man came over and said seriously, School beauty Lin, did he bully you? I will beat him up for you. The girl glared with her beautiful eyes and said angrily, get lost. Okay. The strong man left embarrassedly. Lin Ye hated to see a woman cry, so he softened his heart and said, stop crying, okay. You're still angry with me, the girl choked. No. I don't believe it, you are just angry with me, the girl said almost coquettishly. How can you believe what I say? The girl stretched out her slender white fingers, picked up a fried dumpling, and uttered 3 words in a singing voice, eat it, and I will believe you. The classroom suddenly became quiet. You can hear a pin drop. Several students who were reading in the morning suddenly noticed the sudden change in the environment around them. They looked up in surprise, and then found that everyone seemed to be looking in a certain direction, so they also turned their eyes over. Then, in front of everyone, Lin Ye calmly took the fried dumplings from school beauty Lin and swallowed them in one gulp. Their boys wailed and cried bitterly, wishing they could take Lin Ye's place. Chapter 17. Why are you looking for Lin Ye? At this moment, at the Lin family villa, Lin Qinshuan was anxiously waiting for Sister Zhang's notification. As long as she found the creator of Ordinary Road, she would definitely buy it. Bang, bang, bang. There was a rhythmic knock on the door, and Lin Qinshuan saw through the surveillance camera a man in a suit holding a briefcase. Who are you looking for? Lin Qinshuan asked through video surveillance. The other party's voice came through the loudspeaker. Excuse me, is this Mr. Lin's home? He is Zhu Yu, the agent of Phoenix Entertainment Company. After hearing Ordinary Road last night, he was astonished and concluded that this song will definitely be a hit. So he flew from Hong Kong to Qianhai City overnight. He is sure that he can sign the copyright of this song as soon as possible. Mr. Lin. Lin Qinshuan was stunned for a moment and said, "My dad is out working. He won't be back until the evening." Lin Qinshuan has seen this situation many times. Generally speaking, when she says, looking for Mr. Lin, she means looking for her father, Lin Hongzhong. Many people who ask her father for help will come to his house, so she is used to it. Could you please give me Mr. Lin's phone number? Zhu Yu said. You don't even know my dad's phone number. Lin Qinshuan looked at Zhu Yu suspiciously. Lin Hongzhong is the chairman of the Lin Group. If the other party doesn't even know his father's phone number, it only means that the other party is a small-time character. Should I know? Zhu Yu was surprised. There is no phone number on Lin Ye's Weibo. Forget it, what do you do? Let me call my dad. Lin Qinshuan asked. I'm Zhu Yu, the agent of Yingwang Entertainment Company. I'm here to discuss the copyright of the song with Mr. Lin Ye. What, you are looking for Lin Ye? Lin Qinshuan exclaimed. Oh, who else do you think I'm looking for? Zhu Yu was confused. No, Lin Ye is no longer here. We have kicked him out of the house. You should leave quickly. Lin Qinshuan waved his hand impatiently. What? You actually kicked such a talented person out of the house? It was Zhu Yu's turn to be surprised. The fact that Lin Ye was able to write the hit song Ordinary Road is enough to prove that he is talented and has excellent musical talent. Yingwang Entertainment even plans to offer a sky-high price to sign Lin Ye. Har! Lin Qinshuan sneered, Lin Ye is just a high school student. What kind of talent can a country bumpkin like him have? He is the useless adopted son of our Lin family. He is good for nothing. Did you make a mistake? Get out of here and don't bother me. After saying that, Lin Qinshuan directly cut off the video call. Zhu Yu was dumbfounded. He never dreamed that Lin Ye, who was able to create Ordinary Road, was actually a high school student. In his opinion, the person who can write such a song full of thoughts about life should be a middle-aged person who has experienced many hardships. Zhu Yu felt that his cognition was overturned at this moment. In addition, the other party said that Lin Ye was the adopted son of the Lin family, a waste, and a bumpkin. Zhu Yu vaguely felt that there was a story behind this. As long as he seized the opportunity to market it well, there would definitely be a huge wave of traffic. He has even thought of the title, The Creator of Ordinary Road, the unknown story behind the Lin family's useless adopted son. Zhu Yu didn't know how he left the Lin family, but he knew he had found a business opportunity. He immediately found out that Lin Ye was at Qianhai No. 1 middle school, so he took a taxi and went straight to the school. Beep beep beep. Hear the doorbell ring. Lin Qinshuan answered the video call irritably and started to curse, Are you annoying? I've already told you that Lin Ye doesn't live here. We've kicked him out. Get out. Lin Qinshuan, the other party asked in surprise. Lin Qinshuan took a closer look and saw that the other person was wearing a high-end yellow dress, carrying a Gucci bag, with a light blue angel heart necklace around her neck. Combined with her narrow fox eyes, she looked quite charming. Liu Fei. Seeing this woman, Lin Qinshuan gritted his teeth. Come to think of it, the two people's experiences were surprisingly similar. They were sworn enemies. The two were also second-rate little stars, and the company spent a lot of money on them to let them participate in various dramas. Despite all the highlights, big investments and big productions, it has unfortunately never been a big hit. Some people are like this, not easily remembered and don't have the potential to become popular. When mentioning their names, they are always associated with the title of Queen of Bad Movies. Both of them tried to change their careers and become singers. The company invested a lot of money in them, but in the end they didn't make any waves. So, in addition to being one of the queens of bad movies, the two have another halo, Queen of Bad Songs. The two have been competing secretly and even made a bet that whoever gets rid of the stigma first will win, and the loser will bark like a dog 3 times. Liu Fei, why are you coming to my house? You are not welcome here. Lin Qinshuan walked to the front of the gate, crossed his arms over his chest, and confronted Liu Fei through the iron railings. Is this your home? Liu Fei was surprised and confused and looked at the address again. That's right, this is Lin Ye's home. If it's not my home, then how could it be your home? Lin Qinshuan sneered. Liu Fei was completely upset and asked, what is your relationship with Lin Ye? Lin Qinshuan looked at the other person and was confused again. It's Lin Ye again. What are you looking for Lin Ye for? Heh. Lin Qinshuan curled her lips, that rubbish, he has nothing to do with me. Liu Fei was happy, that's great. Lin Qinshuan frowned, not understanding why the other party was so happy. Could it be that Lin Ye got into trouble outside and was visited by his enemies one after another? The more I think about it, the more likely it is. Lin Qinshuan has always been unhappy with Lin Ye. Not only did he peek at her taking a bath, he also tried to seize the Lin family's property. Have ulterior motives. She said unhappily, Lin Ye used to be our Lin family's adopted son, but now he has run away from home. If you have any problems, go find him. He has nothing to do with our Lin family. Are you serious? Liu Fei couldn't hide the joy on her face. Seriously. Even if he dies out there, it has nothing to do with us. Lin Qinshuan really thought that Lin Ye had gotten into trouble outside and was anxious to distance himself from him. Liu Fei smiled brightly, I heard that Lin Ye lived here, and I thought you had already taken the copyright of the song Ordinary Road. I heard that it doesn't matter to you. It's great. Wait, what did you say? The song Ordinary Road, that has been very popular these days, was written by Lin Ye. Lin Qinshuan opened his mouth in shock, as if he could fit a big banana in it. Yeah? Don't you know? Now it was Liu Fei's turn to be surprised. The other party was Lin Ye's family, there was no reason for him not to know this. Lin Qinshuan obviously didn't believe it and immediately called her agent, Sister Zhang, to confirm. Yes, the creator of Ordinary Road is called Lin Ye, who goes to Qianhai No. 1 Middle School. Qinshuan, do you know this person? Hearing Sister Zhang's affirmative answer, Lin Qinshuan was shocked by this sudden news, and the sun above his head suddenly became dazzling. How is this possible? Lin Ye is just a good-for-nothing loser. When did he learn to write a song? Impossible, this is impossible, she muttered to herself. A sneer appeared on Liu Fei's lips. The worse the relationship between Lin Qinshuan and Lin Ye, the greater her chances of winning. The copyright of this song is mine. Let's go to Qianhai No. 1 Middle School. Liu Fei said to the driver. The copyright is mine, you can't take it away. Lin Qinshuan said viciously, and immediately chased after him in his Porsche. Chapter 18 People from the entertainment company have arrived. You're stupid, you should keep your distance from Lin Ye, otherwise it will easily cause misunderstandings to this loser. After school, a beautiful girl who was about 1.7 meters tall and had a high ponytail said to Lin Shisha. She is Lin Shisha's best friend, Sun Shangyi, a famous beauty in Qianhai No. 1 Middle School, but she is slightly inferior to Lin Shisha and failed to be named the school belle. Even so, with her fair and pretty face, 1.7 meter tall height, long legs and a perky butt, her figure is absolutely impeccable. But my family treated him badly, and I want to make it up to him. Lin Shisha whispered. You're stupid. There are many ways to compensate him. Why don't you just find an excuse to ask him out and buy him some more expensive clothes? This kind of poor boy will misunderstand that you are interested in him if you give him the slightest favor. It comes up to me happily, like a dog skin plaster, and I can't get rid of it. If you ignore him, he will think you are unfaithful, as if you have done something wrong to him, which is very annoying. Sun Shangyi curled his lips in disdain. Both of them are beautiful women, surrounded by countless admirers, and this situation happens frequently. But Lin Ye is different. I just want to make it up to him because I hurt him before. Sun Shangyi, how about you buy him a lot of stuff today as compensation? It will also teach this loser some sense. Isn't this bad? Lin Ye hesitated. Let's go, don't dawdle. Lin Ye was dragged by her best friend to find Lin Ye. At this moment, in the classroom of Class 1, Grade 3. Lin Ye touched his growling stomach and felt dizzy with hunger. He used the remaining $3 to buy breakfast and had no money left for food. Thanks to the 100 yuan living allowance from his stepmother, he was used to skipping lunch, but today he ran more than 10 kilometers and was really hungry. Ding ding. The cell phone rings. A deep voice came from the other end of the phone. Hello, Mr. Lin Ye, I am Ju Yu, the agent of Yinghuang Entertainment Media Company. I am interested in the copyright of Ordinary Road in your hands. Is it convenient for you to come out and discuss it? I am at the gate of your school now. Lin Ye's eyes lit up with joy. He was worried about having no money for lunch. I was really sleepy and someone came to bring me a pillow. He immediately agreed and was about to leave when he saw Lin Ye and a 1.7-meter tall beauty walking towards him. The other person has a slender figure, with 2 long white legs that are so white that they glow in the air. Lin Ye! Lin Ye shouted. What's up? Let me introduce you, this is my best friend Sun Shiny. Sun Shiny crossed her arms and extended her hand politely. Hello, my name is Sun Shiny, nice to meet you. Hello. Lin Ye shook hands, turned his head and said to Lin Ye, someone is looking for me, it's okay, I'll leave first. Hey, don't go. Sun Shiny rolled his eyes and said unhappily, Shisha and I are going shopping. Can you help us carry our things? I'm busy. Lin Ye refused directly. The people from Phoenix Entertainment Media Company are still waiting for him, how could he let them down? We are both beauties. 2 beauties are going shopping with you, and you actually refuse. Sun Shiny put his hands on his hips, looking a little incredulous. Any other boy in the school would not have refused the invitation even if his house was on fire. But Lin Ye refused without even thinking about it. I'm really busy, someone is waiting for me. Lin Ye was a little speechless. What was the difference between beautiful and not beautiful? No matter how beautiful you are, can you be as beautiful as your elder sister Lin Yubing? Lin Yubing is the most beautiful woman he has ever seen in the world. After meeting Lin Yubing, Lin Ye became immune to other beauties. Forget it, why are you going? We'll just follow you. Sun Shiny compromised. I was thinking, he must be embarrassed. This little boy is playing hard to get. I'll expose your trick. Lin Ye thought about it, and Ju Yu didn't say that he couldn't bring anyone with him, so he nodded, okay then. Just like that, the 3 of them walked out of the school. It was time to go home from school, and many students were discussing the entertainment news of the past 2 days along the way. I heard a divine song yesterday called Ordinary Road, it's absolutely wonderful. A girl said to her friend, clicked the MP3, and heard a familiar song. Wandering on the Road. Are you leaving? Fragile Pride. That was me, too. The melodious music floated into Lin Ye's ears, and a look of surprise flashed across his face. He could tell that the song was Ordinary Road, which was uploaded to Weibo last night. What he didn't expect was that after just one night, the song had become so popular that even people around him started to know about it. Shisha, this song, Ordinary Road, is so beautiful. I played it on repeat all night yesterday. Sun Shiny's eyes sparkled with excitement. Really? Lin Ye was surprised. I recommend you to listen to it too. You will definitely like the songs I like. Sun Shiny put the in-ear headphones into Lin Ye's ears. When the prelude of Ordinary Road sounded, Lin Ye was suddenly shocked and looked at Lin Ye. This voice is very similar to yours, but it is much more vicissitudes of life than yours. After listening to the song, Lin Ye still felt unsatisfied, so she listened to it again. The words, I once fell into endless darkness, and wanted to struggle but couldn't extricate myself, lingered in her ears again and again, making Lin Ye feel a lump in her throat. When her mother Su Wanwan passed away, she couldn't accept for a long time that her mother had really left her forever. I fell into endless darkness and felt that the days without my mother were like the sky falling. At that time, she burst into tears and Lin Ye was the one who kept comforting her. She could clearly see that Lin Ye was also very sad. Lin Ye had a very good relationship with his mother. Lin Ye must be very sad about his mother's death. But during that time, Lin Ye seemed to have transformed into her mother, giving her meticulous care, comforting her, and helping her through the darkest period of her life. Thinking of this, Lin Shisher's eyes reddened and she looked at Lin Ye. As if he sensed something, Lin Ye also looked up at her tacitly. The two of them stared at each other quietly, and some memories came to their minds. Chapter 19. You are the author of Ordinary Road. What's wrong with you? Seeing something was wrong between the two, Sunshiny asked in confusion. No, nothing. Lin Shisher lowered her head shyly, her heart beating like a deer. Ahem. Lin Ye coughed lightly and asked, is this song Ordinary Road very popular? Needless to say, several of my classmates are listening to this song. It's really good and it has directly topped the Kugu music popularity chart. Sunshiny looked very proud and said slowly, not only is the lyrics of this song well written, but the singer is also amazing. There is a sense of vicissitudes in his voice, which is very manly. I want to meet the singer himself. He must be an uncle with a story. Lin Ye touched his nose awkwardly. When did I become an uncle? He looked at himself in the reflective glass of the classroom, and every hair of the boy in the mirror stood up stubbornly. After all, she is only 19 years old. Her pretty face is full of collagen, her lips are slightly thin, her nose is straight, and her double eyelids appear deep. Apart from being a little thin, the man in the mirror only has a 99-point appearance, which is a little bit lower than the Yanzus present here. What's wrong? Lin Shisher walked beside him, and the two of them looked like a perfect match. She blushed unconsciously. 3 years ago, the two of them walked hand in hand through countless streets. Nothing, she said I looked like an uncle. Lin Ye said with a smile. Have some shame. I'm talking about the author of this song, not you. Sunshiny curled his lips in disdain. I wrote the song Ordinary Road. Lin Ye said with a wry smile. You wrote it, just you. Sunshiny looked Lin Ye up and down, then glanced at him with contempt, as if he was looking at a pitiful clown. She didn't believe it at all. Such a beautiful song could definitely not be written by this person who was less than 20 years old. In her imagination, the person who could write this song must have experienced many vicissitudes of life and seen through all kinds of things in the world. Without enough stories and experiences, it would be impossible to write or sing the flavor of this song. Yes, I wrote it, and the agency is looking for me now. Lin Ye said with a smile. TSK, you lie without thinking. Sunshiny's eyes were filled with disdain. I understand that you guys would lie in front of girls to make yourself look good, but you lie so badly that people can see through it at a glance. Lin Ye didn't say anything. He just didn't understand. How could you not recognize the same person's voice at first glance? Lin Shisher came out to smooth things over. Shiny, Lin Ye was just joking, don't be angry. I think Lin Ye's voice is very similar to this singer's. Are you Ju Yu from Yin Wine Media Company? It's me. You are Lin Ye, the creator of Ordinary Road, right? Yes. Lin Ye said. Hearing this, Lin Shisher and Sunshiny were shocked. They just discussed this song and listened to it carefully several times. They like the composer and singer of this song very much. There is even discussion about how much experience a person must have to be able to write such a profound song. But the two never dreamed that this song was actually written by Lin Ye. The singer they wanted to meet was both far away and yet right in front of them. How not to be surprised? Ju Yu smiled and said, you made me look for you so hard. Have you eaten yet? Can we talk while we eat? Okay, but. Lin Ye looked at the two beauties behind him who were already dumbfounded, and asked with a smile, they are my friends, can we come together? Oh. It's not a big deal. It's my honor to invite Mr. Lin's friends. Let's get in the car together. And so, the four of them got in the car. Ju Yu was driving, Lin Ye was sitting in the passenger seat, and Lin Shisha and Sunshiny were sitting in the back seat. Along the way, Sunshiny remained silent, with his little toes pressed tightly against the ground, wishing he could dig out a 3-bedroom apartment on the spot. Oh my god. What am I doing? I just said that Lin Ye's lies were very poor. But he is really the singer himself. Woo woo woo. I cried my ass off. It turns out that I am the clown. Sunshiny covered her face in pain. In the car, Ju Yu smiled and said, I just went to your house to ask, and she said you don't live there anymore. After a pause, Ju Yu added meaningfully, but that person's words were so rude. Lin Ye smiled and said nothing. He knew without guessing that the other party was either his second sister or his fourth sister. These two people had been colluding with his stepmother to drive him out of the Lin family. It's my second sister who's at home today. She must have just misunderstood you. Lin Ye said hurriedly, Lin Ye, can you please stop being angry with my second sister? Lin Ye smiled bitterly and said, you mean, she scolded me, but I can't be angry with her. What's the logic behind this? Lin Ye was choked and speechless. Zhu Yu said, although Lin Ye Media Company is powerful in the mainland, we, Yinhuang Media, have a lot of influence in Hong Kong and even the world. If Mr. Lin sells the copyright to us, our company will definitely show the true value of this song. Really? Of course, young man, if you sell this song, you will be rich. Oh, let's talk about it later. I have to study hard now and I don't plan to sell it for the time being. As for the cooperation, we can talk about it after I graduate from high school. Zhu Yu's body shook violently. He looked at Lin Ye in surprise. He thought that a high school student would be extremely excited to hear this and would immediately nod in agreement. But Lin Ye seemed to have heard something trivial, with a nonchalant expression on his face, which made Zhu Yu puzzled. What was even more difficult for Zhu Yu to accept was that the other party did not bargain with him, but rejected him outright. Being able to sell a song is an opportunity for a newcomer to rise to fame, but this young man seems to have seen a lot of ups and downs and looks nonchalant. Oh, actually this won't take up much time. Signing a contract will be quick. Eat first, and we'll talk about the rest later. Lin Ye is extremely hungry now, so he'd better eat a meal with the other person first. That's a must. Zhu Yu immediately turned the car around and drove towards Linglong Restaurant, the most luxurious restaurant in Tianhai City. I originally wanted to take Lin Ye to a Western restaurant to deal with it, but now I have to spend a lot of money. You can't catch a wolf without sacrificing a kid. Chapter 20, 1 million, you're giving it to a beggar. Mr. Lin, this Linglong Restaurant is a century-old brand. It is usually only open to members. A meal costs no less than 10,000 yuan. After getting off the car, Zhu Yu introduced enthusiastically. The four of them walked into an antique elevator. After exiting the elevator, they saw a lobby with a lounge pavilion and red-painted corridors with bright lights on both sides. At the front desk, there stood a palace maid in ancient costume, very beautiful. When the four men passed by, the palace maid bowed slightly, and her beauty with lowered brows was so mesmerizing. The maid smiled gently and said, Mr. Zhu, you have reserved our Chufeng pavilion. Please follow me. Everyone then discovered that Linglong Restaurant did not have an open dining area, but instead had private rooms set up in the styles of various dynasties in history. Each room had a separate palace made to serve meals, which could be said to be the ultimate in service. After entering Chufeng Pavilion, they were once again shocked by the interior decoration in front of them. A round table made of golden namu wood and a huge chandelier on the high ceiling casting soft light, creating a sense of luxury of an ancient palace. There are antique calligraphy and paintings hanging on the walls, all of them are authentic. The sound of guzheng playing came to my ears, and there were rockery and flowing water beside me. What a poetic scene. Mr. Lin, are you satisfied with the decoration here? Zhu Yu said this with a slightly smug look, intending to suppress Lin Ye. It's just so-so. Lin Ye pursed his lips. The private room in Chufeng Pavilion is just barely acceptable. Next time I'll go to Tangfeng Pavilion. The decoration in that Ang is even more luxurious. Lin Ye had been to Linglong Pavilion countless times in his previous life and knew the place very well. This isn't luxurious enough. Zhu Yu was stunned for a moment, then realized that he had made a fool of himself, and said hurriedly, Mr. Lin is really well informed. Sun Shangyi, who was standing by, was already shocked beyond words by what he saw. It's just a meal, is it necessary to make such a big deal about it? Even the emperors in ancient times probably didn't enjoy themselves this way. All of this was brought by Lin Ye. Otherwise, with his own family, he would probably never have the chance to come to such a place in his life. For a moment, Sun Shangyi's eyes were sparkling as he looked at Lin Ye, his heart full of curiosity. The four of them sat down. Zhu Yu first enthusiastically handed the menu to Lin Ye and Sun Shangyi. When they refused, he handed it to Lin Ye. Mr. Lin, just order whatever you want. With our relationship, you're welcome. These words invisibly brought the two people closer. Lin Ye didn't hesitate. He was already hungry, so he quickly ordered more than a dozen dishes. Sitting in a luxurious box like an emperor, it doesn't matter what you eat. Mr. Lin, copyright transactions are actually very simple. Learning is learning, and trading is trading. They do not affect each other. Don't worry, we at Yingwang Media are sincere this time, and we guarantee you will be satisfied with this price. Zhu Yu's mouth was almost dry from talking, but Lin Ye didn't even raise his head, just ate and drank, not paying any attention to him. This is the reincarnation of a starving ghost. Zhu Yu complained in his heart, then smiled and said, Mr. Lin, what do you think? What did you say? Lin Ye took a bite of the chicken leg, his face dull. This. If it were someone else, Zhu Yu would definitely go up and punch him. Restraining his anger, Zhu Yu licked his face and said, the copyright fee for Ordinary Road is 800,000. What do you think? Don't worry, you won't lose money at this price. For a high school student like you, 800,000 is not a low price. Lin Ye wiped his lips with a tissue and asked the two beauties, have you finished eating? In order to remain reserved, the two women didn't eat much and just nodded. Let's go, then. Lin Ye stood up and strode towards the door without even looking at Zhu Yu. Hey, don't go, Mr. Lin. Our Yingwang company is sincere. If you miss this opportunity, you will never get it again. Seeing that Lin Ye was about to leave, Zhu Yu became anxious. He had finally flown from Hong Kong to Qianhai City, and he didn't want to make a wasted trip. He guessed that he was the first person to find Lin Ye, so he could lower the price at this time, take advantage of the other party's young age and ignorance, and rip him off. But what he didn't know was that inside Lin Ye was a soul of over 40 years old, and he knew very well the value of a song. The value created by the song Ordinary Road in later generations adds up to at least hundreds of millions. The other party wants to buy it for 800,000. I'm afraid he is dreaming. Lin Ye smiled and said, Mr. Zhu, thank you for your kindness. If you want to send the beggar away, please do as you please. I still have to study, so I won't accompany you any longer. Zhu Yu's face changed, revealing a hint of ruthlessness. Stinky boy, don't be shameless. You haven't registered the copyright of this song yet. Do you believe that we, Yingwang Entertainment, will register it first and make you lose all your money? Lin Ye knew that the other party had finally revealed his true intentions. He did not register the copyright, but the other party did not dare to use it casually. In 2012, copyright awareness was still weak. If the other party abused the copyright to some unknown minor characters, Lin Ye would have no choice but to sue him. But if the other party plans to use this song to promote a singer, then the meaning is different. Even if the other party made this singer famous, Lin Ye could bring him down from the altar with just a lawsuit. As a traffic star, once involved in plagiarism and abuse of other people's copyright, it is almost equivalent to ruining one's own career. Therefore, unless Phoenix Media Company really buys this song completely, the subsequent risks will be out of control. Lin Ye sneered, and his tone became extremely tough. Oh, then you can try it. The atmosphere in the box suddenly changed from a happy atmosphere to a tense one. That's how business works. When it comes to interests, there are no eternal friends. You little bastard, you are just a lone man. If you dare to offend us, Yingwang Media, you are dead. Zhu Yu said viciously. Who said he is a loner? Just try and touch him. Lin Shisher suddenly said loudly. Who are you? Zhu Yu asked. My father is Lin Hongzhong, Lin Ye is my brother, who do you think I am? Lin Shisher refused to be outdone. This. Zhu Yu's pupils suddenly shrank. He didn't expect that Lin Shisher was the daughter of Lin Yu Media. He was just a small agent and couldn't afford to offend this big Buddha. No wonder Lin Ye is so fearless. Har har. I was just joking, don't be angry, brother Lin. Zhu Yu suddenly changed into an amiable look, his previous fierce look no longer there. The smile on her face looks like a chrysanthemum. Seeing his hypocritical expression, Lin Ye's eyelids twitched twice. At this moment, he even wondered if he was having an illusion. This guy's face-changing speed is so fast that even the Sichuan opera face-changing master would feel ashamed of himself. Zhu Yu smiled and said, Brother Lin, how about this? I will pay you 200,000 yuan, a total of 1 million yuan to buy the copyright of your song. By the way, I will help you register the copyright and transfer the copyright. What do you think? 1 million. Hearing this number, Sunshiny's heart skipped a beat. At this age, being able to earn 1 million can definitely be considered a promising young person. Unconsciously, the way she looked at Lin Ye had completely changed. Less contempt, more respect, even admiration. Lin Ye smiled and said, Yingwang Media is a very powerful company, but you are threatening and suppressing me today, using 1 million to send away beggars. I have really learned a lot. I think we don't need to cooperate with each other. It's disgusting. Ju Yu understood instantly that it was not that Lin Ye was uncooperative, but that the price he offered was too low. 1.2 million, this price can't be any lower. Just agree to it, you won't lose out at this price. Seeing that Lin Ye was about to push the door and leave, Ju Yu shouted. Lin Ye was about to say something when two pleasant female voices suddenly came from outside the door. I don't agree. I don't agree either. Chapter 21 Don't want free money? The door of the box was pushed open, and two beauties came in aggressively. A girl wearing a windbreaker and a high ponytail, with a pretty face and heroic demeanor, was Lin Ye's second sister, Lin Qinshuan, whom he hadn't seen for a long time. The other woman was wearing a yellow dress, which was their yellow battle robe that was very popular on TikTok in later generations. Their high split of the skirt revealed her long and beautiful legs, and combined with her narrow and long fox eyes, she gave people the illusion of seducing everyone. Lin Ye recognized this person. She was his second sister's archenemy and good friend, Liu Fei. In the previous life, Lin Zihao caused the Lin family to be destroyed. The second sister relied on her martial arts to find Lin Zihao to argue with him, but because she scratched Lin Zihao's face, he brutally broke her legs and later forced her to commit suicide. Although Liu Fei was the second sister's mortal enemy, after the second sister fell into trouble, she put aside her past grudges and helped her with all her strength. Even after the Lin family fell into decline, he provided Lin Ye with startup capital to help Lin Ye make a comeback. It can be said that Liu Fei is Lin Ye's great benefactor. In this life, I must help Liu Fei no matter what. Hello, my name is Liu Fei, nice to meet you. Liu Fei stretched out her hand. Lin Ye shook her hand enthusiastically, and was overjoyed. Hello, my name is Lin Ye, and I'm your loyal fan. He particularly emphasized the word loyal. In his previous life, he had gotten to know Liu Fei carefully and knew that she came from a poor family and her father owed more than 6 million yuan in loan sharks. Now she should still be working hard to repay her father's debt. Children from poor families have to grow up early. Liu Fei is independent and strong, and works harder than most people in the film and television industry. When everyone else had gone home from get-off work, she was still working hard to memorize her lines. Although she did not come from a formal training background, she put in much more effort than others. In Lin Ye's eyes, Liu Fei is an intimate older sister who guides him when he is in the most difficult times. Whenever he has any problems, he can always go to Liu Fei and get advice from her. Thank you. Liu Fei said seriously, to be honest, I want to buy the copyright of Ordinary Road. This song is very important to me and I really want it. Good. Lin Ye said seriously. There was total silence in the box. Everyone was shocked. Lin Ye did not object at the first time, but agreed directly. This scene made Ju Yu breathless. He shouted, Mr. Lin, I am willing to pay 1.3 million to buy the copyright of this song. Another 100,000 increase. 1.3 million is definitely a sky-high price for a new composer. Sun Shiny opened his mouth wide, shocked beyond words. I'll give you 1.5 million. The second sister, Lin Qinshuan, crossed her arms and was determined to win. Liu Fei immediately said, I'll pay 1.51 million. Lin Qinshuan, I'll pay 1.7 million. Liu Fei didn't have that much money, so she gritted her teeth and said, I'll pay 1.71 million. 2 million. Lin Qinshuan said jokingly, try to follow another one. The last thing I lack is money. Liu Fei was like a deflated ball. Most of her money was used to pay off her father's debts. 1.71 million was already her limit. At this time, Ju Yu hung up the phone and shouted, we at Yingwang Media are willing to pay 2.1 million. Lin Qinshuan was angry, 2.5 million. Try another one. Ju Yu's face was grim, 3 million. 4 million. Lin Qinshuan said disdainfully, it's just my pocket money for 4 months. I can still afford it. This. Everyone was speechless. 1 million living expenses a month. Do you have to be so extravagant and inhumane? I don't understand the world of the rich. 4 million. Sun Shiny on the side had already been numbed by the shock. Can you make so much money just by writing a song? She felt that it was really a small blow to her butt and it opened her eyes. The look he gave Lin Ye again had become fiery. Ju Yu had to withdraw from the competition and could only watch this good song fall into Lin Qinshuan's hands. Liu Fei felt bitter. In terms of money, no one present could compare to the second young lady of the Lin family who was born with a silver spoon in her mouth. Not only did he come from a poor family, but his father also owed a lot of debts. Every time she has a commercial performance, others stay in 5-star luxury hotels, but she has to bargain with the hotel owner who charges 90 yuan a day. She worked several times harder than others, thinking that she could make up for the shortcomings brought by her family. In the end, I still lost. Total defeat. Liu Fei let out a sigh and looked at Lin Ye hesitantly, praying for a miracle to happen. Lin Qinshuan looked indifferent and looked at Lin Ye unhappily. You caused me to lose for million in vain. You are just an adopted son of our Lin family. You eat and drink Lin family's food and drinks. You should give me this song for free. But I'm in a good mood today, so I'll give you for million as a gift to a beggar. My agent is on the way. Once you sign the agreement, don't come back to the Lin family. After saying that, Lin Qinshuan raised her snow-white chin proudly, not wanting to say another word to Lin Ye, and turned and left. Very bad attitude. People who don't know the truth would think that Lin Ye was begging her to do something. Sitting on the chair, Lin Ye watched this scene silently. Seeing that Liu Fei was in a low mood, he walked over and said softly, "Don't be discouraged, prepare the contract quickly." R. Liu Fei opened her red lips and looked at him blankly, not understanding why he said that. 1 million, I'll sell this song to you. Lin Ye said with a smile. As soon as these words were spoken, everyone looked at Lin Ye in disbelief. You don't sell it for million, but you sell it for 1 million. I don't want free money. If this isn't a brain accident, what is this? Only Lin Ye knew how much kindness Liu Fei had shown him in his previous life. If she hadn't helped him when he was in low points, he would probably never have been able to turn things around in front of Lin Zihao. He would be willing to give this song to Liu Fei for free. Liu Fei's blood suddenly froze. Looking at the man in front of her who seemed to be smiling, her heart beat like a deer. Good. She smiled sweetly, her smile like the blooming flowers in March. Liu Fei made a phone call, and the second sister Lin Qinshuan paused, her neck like a rusty machine, and she turned her head with difficulty. What did you say? You want to sell this song to her? Lin Ye nodded as a matter of course. I'm her fan, isn't it normal to do something for my idol? To be honest, Lin Qinshuan is a soprano and is not suitable for singing low-pitched songs like Ordinary Road. Lin Ye also felt that she could not sing out that feeling. In comparison, Liu Fei, who came from a poor family, had experienced more and could sing out that kind of vicissitudes of life better. Are you taking revenge on me? Lin Qinshuan was furious. You eat and sleep with our Lin family, but today you are turning to outsiders. You are an ungrateful wolf. After saying this, Lin Qinshuan slammed the door and left angrily. Lin Ye shrugged. He didn't regret it at all. This was his first pot of gold, and he didn't want to have anything to do with the Lin family, otherwise his stepmother and Lin Zihao would definitely use this as an opportunity to insult him, saying that everything he had was given by the Lin family. Even if he becomes successful in the future, he still won't be able to hold his head up in front of the Lin family. He absolutely doesn't want to see this scene. Chapter 22, I don't need a penny from your Lin family. Lin Ye successfully signed a temporary agreement with Liu Fei. But Lin Ye was careful and asked Liu Fei to transfer the money to his account in 2 installments. This is to prevent Lin Hongzhong from taking action. This man has a strong sense of revenge and will get furious if anything goes against his will. We must be careful about this person going crazy. After signing the agreement, 500,000 yuan has been transferred to the bank account. After seeing Liu Fei off, Lin Ye saw that there was still some time, so he agreed to go shopping with the 2 girls. Sun Shiny and Lin Shisha walked in front, and Lin Ye followed behind. Shisha, did you know that Lin Ye is so outstanding? Sun Shiny looked back at Lin Ye and whispered to Lin Shisha, you can write songs at such a young age and sing them so beautifully. When saying this, Sun Shiny's eyes sparkled with stars, and the word, admiration, was almost written on his face. Lin Shisha frowned and said, don't you think he is useless and want me to get rid of him? That's different. Sun Shiny squinted his eyes. Didn't you know he was so talented before? Now that he's sold a song, he's rich, talented, and kind of handsome when you look at him up close. If he starts singing, he'll be so handsome. Oh, stop talking. Lin Shisha felt as sweet as if she had eaten honey. She always thought Lin Ye was a good person, but her family thought Lin Ye was bad, and she refused to accept it. Now that she heard someone praising Lin Ye, Lin Shisha felt sincerely happy for him. When Lin Ye walked into a men's clothing store, he suddenly stopped and said, "I'm going to buy some clothes. Can you wait for a moment?" When Lin Shishir saw Lin Ye's washed out t-shirt, she thought of what he had gone through in the Lin family over the years. Her nose felt sore and she said, "I'll go with you." Sunshiny took Lin Ye's hand and smiled sweetly, "Let me help you find some clothes." The two of them walked into the store. Lin Shishir seemed to be struck by lightning, and was nailed to the spot, unable to move. You guys," she stammered. Lin Ye turned his head and asked in surprise, "Why don't you come over?" Lin Shishir thought it over again, and finally followed him. "This pair of pants is very stylish. It will definitely suit you." Sunshiny enthusiastically handed over a pair of black casual pants. Lin Ye tried it on and had to admit that girls were more discerning and good at choosing clothes. Next, Sunshiny picked out 4 sets of clothes for him in a row, and Lin Ye accepted them all. When paying the bill, Sunshiny smiled and took out a bank card. "I ate your meal at noon, so I'll buy you this dress in return." Lin Ye, "No need. I'll pay, otherwise I'll feel bad." Sunshiny said. "All right." Lin Ye could only give up since it wasn't much money anyway. At this time, Lin Shishir, who had been silent all this time, suddenly said loudly, "He is my brother, I will pay for it." Sunshiny paused and could only let Lin Shishir pay. After all, they are siblings, and it would be inappropriate for an outsider like me to rush to pay. Lin Shishir proudly handed the bank card to the salesperson. "Check out." "Hello, the total consumption is 1,200 yuan. Just as the salesperson was about to take the card, Lin Ye suddenly said, "Use my card. I don't need a penny from your Lin family." Lin Shishir's eyes suddenly turned red, and she glared at him. "Lin Ye, you have to be so ruthless, right? You would rather accept her money than mine." Lin Ye felt helpless. The Lin family had always said that he coveted the Lin family's property. Without the Lin family, he would be nothing. These words almost became his nightmare. He lived in such a nightmare in his previous life, and only after he brought down Lin Zihao was he able to clear his name. Lin Ye doesn't want to go through the same experience again. "I'm not targeting you, I just don't want to have anything to do with the Lin family," he explained. Lin Shishir's tears flowed uncontrollably, like pearls falling from a broken string. "You still won't forgive me, you just hate me." After saying that, she wiped away her tears and ran away. Lin Ye looked at the girls departing back, looking a little lonely. "Aren't you going to catch up and explain?" Sunshiny asked. Lin Ye shook his head. "Some things could not be explained. What I have experienced in the Lin family over the years cannot be explained in just a few words." When his family laughed at him for coveting the Lin family's property, his self-esteem was severely hit. From that time on, he vowed that he would achieve great success without relying on the Lin family. Now, he didn't want to accept any favor from the Lin family, not even a penny. Lin Ye sighed. "She'll get used to it." After Lin Shishir ran home, her stepmother asked in surprise, "Don't you have classes this afternoon?" Lin Shishir ran into the bedroom and locked the door. "Woo woo woo." She covered her head with the quilt and her tears fell like crazy, soaking a large area of the pillow. "Damn Lin Ye, you big bastard." Lin Shishir cursed angrily. When she thought of Lin Ye being affectionate with Sunshiny, her heart felt as if it was being stabbed by needles. Boom boom boom. There was a knock on the door, and the voice of the third sister Lin Nanji came from outside the house. "Shishir, what's wrong with you?" The second and fourth sisters are both artists and they usually have to rush to attend announcements. The eldest sister is the president and is usually busy. The fifth sister is attending college away from home, so the third sister is usually at home. Lin Shishir immediately calmed down and pretended to be calm and said, "Nothing. I heard you crying, and you told me it was nothing. Open the door." Lin Shishir had no choice but to open the door. His eyes were red and there were tears in the corners. Lin Nanji hugged her with heartache. "What happened? Who bullied our little fairy?" Lin Nanji said, adjusting his black-framed glasses. "Lin Ye." Lin Shishir said word by word. She told him that Lin Ye was unwilling to spend her money. After listening to this, Lin Nanji said seriously, "You are wrong in this matter." Sis, why do you say that?" "Woo woo woo." Lin Shishir wanted to be comforted, but was criticized instead, and cried even more sadly. Chapter 23 Lin Shishir, "I'm sorry Lin Ye." Lin Shishir lowered her head and cried sadly. Tears welled up in her eyes, as if someone had taken out her heart, soaked it in acid water, and pickled it repeatedly until it became dehydrated and shrunken. Lin Nanji tried to comfort him, then said, "You misunderstood him. Come with me." Lin Shishir didn't understand what was going on, and was dragged by her third sister towards Lin Ye's room. Lin Ye's room is on the first floor of the villa. The second floor is the bedroom of the 7 girls. Lin Ye is a man and is not even allowed to go upstairs. This is a narrow nanny room, only 7 square meters, with nothing in it except a bed and a small toilet. When Lin Shishir saw the scene in the room, she was stunned. Huh! The room was clean and tidy, and the quilt was folded into a tofu block. There was no extra storage space in the room, but Lin Ye stacked the things neatly and packed them in a cardboard box. Even though it was very clean, the room still looked very crowded. The key point is that this room has only one small window, the light is very dim and it is a bit damp. Lin Shishir didn't expect that Lin Ye's room was so small and in such poor conditions. The Lin family villa covers an area of more than 3,000 square meters, and her suite alone is 200 square meters, but Lin Ye South living place is less than 10 square meters. Why is this place so small? Lin Shishir asked puzzledly. Lin Nanji patted the back of her hand and said, "Do you remember? Lin Ye used to live on the second floor with us. But after my mother passed away, my stepmother said that Lin Ye's room was very dirty and that he didn't pay attention to hygiene, which polluted everyone's living environment, so she forced Lin Ye to move into this room." How could my stepmother do this? Lin Shishir stomped her feet in anger. She glanced at the clean and tidy room and said unhappily, "How is it dirty here? Lin Ye is obviously very clean. In my memory, Lin Ye always wore clothes that were washed clean. Although they were old, they were very neat and gave people a refreshing feeling. We don't care enough about him." Lin Nanji whispered, "Since mom passed away, Lin Ye has become silent and doesn't like to talk." She opened Lin Ye's closet and found nothing inside except a few old clothes. "It feels very empty, not like anyone lives there. This shirt is full of holes." Lin Shishir picked up a t-shirt with a hole at the armpit. When clothes are worn for a long time, some parts of them will become thinner or even tear. This kind of clothes is usually worn for more than 3 or 4 years. "Sister, haven't you ever bought clothes for Lin Ye?" Lin Shishir asked. Lin Nanji shook her head. "Ever since you said he was coming for our property, Lin Ye refused to take anything from our house. He refused to take anything I bought for him. Why doesn't he want it? It's all because of you? Because of me?" Lin Shishir pointed at her nose, looking incredulous. "What did I do? Have you forgotten? You, the second sister, and the fourth sister have been saying that Lin Ye is after our family property and plans to stay in the Lin family for the rest of his life and be a parasite. Do you know how much harm this statement can do to a child?" Lin Shishir suddenly understood what Lin Ye had just said in the mall. He didn't want to spend a penny of the Lin family's money. How desperate and sad must he be to say this to his family? Lin Shishir felt suffocated and her whole body was shaking. She covered her mouth desperately to prevent herself from crying out. Tears blurred her vision and dripped down her delicate face to the ground. She suddenly thought about it and felt terrified. She had been following her stepmother for many years and had often excluded Lin Ye. She did this because she thought what her stepmother said made sense and believed her lies. But did she forget how much harm these words would cause to a teenager? Lin Shishir felt that she had gone too far and committed a serious sin. Lin Nanji took out a piece of clothing printed with Donald Duck and said, "This piece of clothing was bought for him by Wanwan's mother. I remember that he was very happy at that time. He ran around his mother 3 times, opened the clothing and kept grinning." The innocent Lin Ye back then and the silent Lin Ye now are 2 completely different people. Lin Nanji continued to search for clothes and found a grey cloth shirt, which was very small, probably what Lin Ye wore when he was 12 years old. She said, "This dress is what Lin Ye wore when he first came to our house. Apart from these clothes, all other clothes were bought for him by Wanwan's mother. These are all old clothes. Since his mother passed away, Lin Ye has never bought new clothes except for school uniforms. That's why his clothes look so old." "Why?" Lin Shishir choked. "What do you think?" Lin Nanji shook her head. "You guys say every day that Lin Ye covets the Lin family's property. How can Lin Ye have the nerve to accept our things? In life, one does not fight for bread, but for dignity. Lin Ye was originally an orphan, and he had long been accustomed to having nothing. He is different from us. He has a kind of temperament of letting things take their own course. Just like the weeds in the fields, weeds are not vegetables that are taken care of by anyone, and no one will water or fertilize them. If weeds want to survive in a harsh environment, they can only rely on themselves. We have millions of living expenses every month, so we will never starve to death, but Lin Ye almost starved to death before. Lin Ye couldn't hold back any longer, tears blurred her eyes, making it difficult for her to see the scene before her. She went to look for tissues, but found that there were none in the room, so she asked her third sister to help get a pack of tissues. After wiping it carefully, he was able to regain his sight. But tears still flowed out uncontrollably. She felt that she had said such hurtful words to Lin Ye without knowing it. She actually did such a thing. She felt that she was unforgivable and couldn't bear it. She remembered that in her freshman year of high school, she and Lin Ye were walking on the school lawn. She looked at him seriously and said, "Lin Ye, am I the best person in the world to you?" Lin Ye was stunned for a moment, then shook his head, "No." "Humph. Lin Ye, you actually said that I'm not the best person to you. You're so sad. I will never talk to you again." Recalling the past, Lin Ye cried even more sadly. How did she have the nerve to say such things in the first place? How shameless was she to ask that question after hurting Lin Ye's heart? "Lin Ye, don't come near me, you make me sick. If they scold you, just scold them back. It's really embarrassing for you to stay silent like this. Lin Ye, I don't think you deserve to be with me. Let's have less contact in the future." That day she said something extremely harsh to Lin Ye. Looking back now, even she herself feels heartbroken. Lin Ye's moral bottom line completely collapsed, and she sobbed, "I don't know, I'm sorry, I really don't know, I don't know why I said such hurtful words." Lin Nanji patted her shoulder and comforted her, "It's okay, the past is the past, Lin Ye is not a person who holds grudges." "No, he hates me." Lin Ye's voice was filled with tears. When shopping in the mall today, Lin Ye would rather use Sunshiny's money than hers. It was obvious that in Lin Ye's heart, her opinion of him was even lower than that of Sunshiny, whom he had just met. Chapter 24 Lin Ye, he is here to protect his mother. "Sister, please go back first. Can you leave me alone?" Lin Ye said, tears blurring her vision. Lin Nanji could only persuade him twice and leave the room. As soon as the door was closed, Lin Ye felt that this room with poor lighting suddenly became dark. The darkness around her was closing in like a ghost seeking revenge. Lin Ye was so scared that she jumped onto Lin Ye's bed and covered her head with the quilt. Only then did she feel a little relieved. When she thought about Lin Ye staying in such a dark room for 4 years, she couldn't help but feel a little sad. She hugged Lin Ye's pillow tightly, smelling Lin Ye's scent, and her memories suddenly drifted away. "From today on, he is your brother." That day, Wanwan's mother brought home a boy of her age. Lin Ye looked at the new boy curiously. The other person was a little thin, had short hair, looked frail, and didn't seem to be very aggressive. "Why are you so thin?" Lin Ye asked. "Because there is nothing to eat." Lin Ye replied. "Why is there nothing to eat? Don't your parents give you anything to eat?" "I don't have parents." "Why don't you have parents?" Lin Ye asked. "Shisha, don't ask that." Mom scolded and hugged Lin Ye, "Silly child, you have suffered. From now on, I will be your mother." Lin Ye was extremely curious about this peer, and kept asking him questions. It was only after her mother told her several times that she gave up. At that time, Lin Ye seemed to be a little afraid of her. Thinking of this, Lin Ye suddenly hugged the pillow and smiled foolishly. Suddenly, she felt something foreign under her pillow. She took it out and saw that it was a yellowed notebook. She had an impression of this notebook. That day, Wanwan's mother said to Lin Ye, "I'm giving you a notebook. I hope you can record the happiness of every day." Lin Ye took it happily. This was the first gift he received since coming to this family. Lin Ye opened the first page of the notebook, where there was a family photo, taken on the first day Lin Ye came to this family. In the photo, Lin Ye looks a little childish, with one hand casually resting on the shoulder of the new boy, smiling happily. On the other hand, Lin Ye was like a punching bag, and seemed a little uncomfortable with being so close to a woman. Lin Ye wanted to open the next page of the notebook. However, she suddenly stopped and was a little afraid to open it. She was afraid of seeing what she was afraid of. If this is a diary, it should record a lot of things, including the mistakes she had made. But she wanted to understand Lin Ye as much as possible, and know why he didn't want to owe the Lin family anything. She took a deep breath, sorted out her emotions, wiped away her tears, and then opened the next page. On April 31st, the weather was cloudy. When I came to this home, Wanwan's mother asked me to record every day and said that writing a diary is helpful to improve one's thinking. Then I will write, but what should I write? Oh, by the way, I have 7 sisters, all of them are as beautiful as angels. Especially the eldest sister, the female stars on TV are not as pretty as her. My second sister is so handsome. The third sister is very intellectual. The fourth sister is a little weird. Fifth sister is so beautiful with her long flowing hair. The seventh sister looks small and cute. As for sixth sister, why do you always touch me? Do you know the difference between men and women? Seeing this, Lin Ye giggled. That day, when she heard her mother say that Lin Ye was a boy, she couldn't wait to touch him and found that the boy was no different from the girl except that his skin was a little rough. Lin Ye quickly flipped through more than a dozen pages of her diary, most of which contained information related to Wanwan's mother. Mother Wanwan is really beautiful and gentle. She is the best person in the world. Dad beat mom, I saw it secretly, dad is a bad guy. I just can't understand why my father beat my mother, who is so kind, and even made her cry. Seeing this news, Lin Ye was shocked. Dad beat mom. How come she didn't know? In her impression, her parents have always had a good relationship. They respect each other and are a model couple in her heart, and a perfect couple in the eyes of outsiders. There was not even a quarrel. How could it be domestic violence? She couldn't wait to turn a few pages, only to find that domestic violence was not an isolated case at all. The father always chooses to abuse them when they are not at home, and the reason is that he cheated on them. There is more than one mistress. Lin Ye was extremely shocked by the news. Dad has always been gentle before, but is it just an act? She couldn't wait to read on. After reading Lin Ye's diary, she learned that her father had always asked her mother to give birth to a boy to inherit the family business. But my mother gave birth to 7 girls in a row, and one of the reasons my father beat her was that she couldn't give birth to a boy. Lin Ye was shocked. Is there such a ridiculous father? Can I blame my mother for this? The mother has no control over whether the baby is a boy or a girl. Lin Ye was angry. Then, she saw something even more angry. The father's sexual needs could not be met during the mother's pregnancy, so as soon as the mother became pregnant, he started looking for women outside. He has a regular mistress and 7 or 8 irregular lovers. Lin Hongzhong is a bastard. My mother was so good to him, but he actually did something to let her down. He even swore that this was a normal man's need and scolded my mother for not being tolerant at all. The reason is to protect mom. She had always thought that Lin Ye's unfortunate experiences in this family started after Wanwan's mother died. After seeing this news, some of Lin Ye's ideas were refreshed. Lin Hongzhong, are you a man? If you want to fight, hit me. Why do you come after a woman? You rebellious son, you dare to call me by my name, are you rebelling against heaven? I will beat you to death. If you have the guts, just kill me. As long as I'm here, you can't hurt her. Xie Ye, stop interfering in adults' affairs, listen to mom and go back to school, okay? No, he will beat you if I leave, I can't leave. Lin Ye suddenly remembered that there was a time when Lin Ye refused to go to school no matter what. Several sisters tried to persuade him to go to school, but Lin Ye refused to listen. At that time, she also said that Lin Ye was ignorant, and standing on the moral high ground, she scolded him severely. Lin Ye's cheeks turned red, she felt that she was really hateful. Lin Ye, you must have felt very wronged at that time. What was recorded in the notebook matched her memory. Lin Ye suddenly felt a chill and slowly uncovered the thrilling truth behind this family. She continued to scroll down, and a line of text made her shudder. Am I going to die? That bastard hit me so hard that my chest hurt so much that I vomited blood. But it's okay. After Lin Hongzhong beat me, he stopped beating my mother. This way, I indirectly protected my mother. Below the text, there was a line of blood, which soaked several pages of paper and looked extremely eye-catching. Woo woo woo. Lin Ye burst into tears again. She couldn't believe it. Lin Ye was only 12 or 13 years old at the time, and he was beaten by his father until he vomited blood. How cruel a person must be to do this. Looking at the glaring bloodstain on the notebook, she felt her hands and feet go cold. She covered her mouth to stop herself from crying. After closing the notebook, Lin Ye suddenly didn't dare to read on, as if this notebook was a dangerous devil that would reveal the ridiculous fairy tale dream she had been living in for so many years. Today, she finally saw the true face of this family. She suddenly realized why her father had treated Lin Ye so harshly on the day he left. It turns out that my father had done that before. But I kept it a secret from them. Lin Ye has been suffering in this family in a way that ordinary people cannot imagine. Lin Ye felt aggrieved for Lin Ye and also felt sad for him. Over the years, she followed her stepmother and said that Lin Ye coveted the Lin family's property. But now, she found out that she was totally wrong. Lin Ye came to this family not to enjoy himself, but to protect his mother. Chapter 25 Feng Zhuang and Tomboy Tang Yu. From childhood to adulthood, Lin Ye always felt that she lived in a happy and complete family. The father is responsible for making money outside, and the mother is at home taking care of the children, and the family lives happily together. But after reading Lin Ye's diary today, she realized that she had been living in an illusory fairy tale. There is no such thing as a peaceful life, it's just that someone is carrying the burden for you. She hid the notebook back under Lin Ye's mattress. Sister, open the door. Lin Ye knocked on the door of her third sister Lin Nanji and sat down beside her bed. Sister, let me ask you, has Dad ever abused Mom? You know my stepmother's character. She deserves to be beaten. Lin Nanji thought Lin Ye was talking about her stepmother Yang Fang. I'm talking about Wanwan's mother. Lin Ye raised her voice. You know. Lin Nanji took a deep breath. Actually, I've seen it twice. I occasionally saw them arguing in the room after get off work, but I don't know why they were arguing. Dad cheated on me. Lin Ye said. Yes, I know. Lin Zihao is the child of his affair. Then did you know that Lin Ye was beaten and vomited blood in order to protect his mother? Lin Ye's eyes were red. Lin Ye saw his mother being beaten, and he actually stood up for her and fought with his father. In the end, he was beaten by his father and vomited blood. There is such a thing. Third sister Lin Nanji was also shocked, her eyes widened. Is it true? When did Lin Ye do this? In the first 1 or 2 years after Lin Ye came to our house, he was more attentive than anyone else. When he found out that Mom was injured, he asked her. Mom didn't answer, so he investigated on his own. After he found out that Dad was domestic violence against Mom, he fought with Dad. Lin Nanji's eyes widened. No wonder I found that he had internal injuries in his chest during the previous physical examination. While Lin Ye burst into tears, we 7 biological daughters are not as devoted to our mother as Lin Ye, an outsider. At that moment, she recounted the process of Lin Ye protecting his mother for the past 2 years. Since Lin Ye came to this family, she only recognizes Su Wanwan as her mother and does not recognize Lin Hongzhong as her father. Lin Ye is an orphan, and he knows the evil of human nature better than anyone else. Whenever I saw that something was wrong with Wanwan's mother, I could guess that she was being abused again. He would go to Lin Hongzhong to argue. Once, when his mother was severely beaten, Lin Ye even ran to his father's company and made a big scene. Dad actually had 2 bodyguards beat Lin Ye up and threw him out of the company. Dad actually did such a thing. Lin Ye's eyes were filled with tears. Lin Ye was only 12 years old at that time. How could he do that to a 12-year-old child? They both fell silent at the same time. Looking back at his father's attitude of beating and scolding Lin Ye over the years, it is not difficult to guess that the two of them had a grudge against each other a long time ago. Lin Ye thought Lin Hongzhong was a bad person and never regarded him as a father. However, Lin Hongzhong felt that the child was born rebellious and had dared to fight with him since he was young, and he did not treat him as his own child. Lin Ye choked up and said, "Sister, do you think Lin Ye did something wrong?" Lin Nanji shook her head. He is not wrong, he did the right thing. But why is he being abused like this in this family? Lin Ye felt a pang of sadness in her heart. Lin Ye sat in the rental house, doing the test paper seriously. The college entrance examination is approaching, and he doesn't want to leave any regrets for himself. In his previous life, he failed to go to university and suffered the loss of not having a diploma. In this life, he was determined to get into a top university no matter what. New life, new beginning. He made a very detailed plan for himself and would never allow himself to repeat the mistakes of his previous life in this life. Lin Hongzhong is a man with a dark heart and a strong desire for revenge. Sooner or later, he will have a battle with Lin Hongzhong. He needs to make good plans in advance so that he can compete with the Lin family in the future. I have crossed mountains and seas, and I have also walked through crowds of people. While I was doing the test paper, the cell phone next to me suddenly rang. Someone was calling. Lin Ye picked it up and saw that it was his best friend Feng Zhuang, his childhood friend. Back then, an old grandfather adopted 3 orphans. One was Lin Ye, one was the tomboy Tang Yu, and the last one was Feng Zhuang, who was as strong as a bull. After the old man died, Lin Ye and the other 2 lost their income. If Feng Zhuang hadn't relied on his strong physique to carry cement, Lin Ye and Tang Yu would have starved to death long ago. Later, Lin Ye and Tang Yu were able to go to school because Feng Zhuang spent money to support their studies. In his heart, Feng Zhuang is as kind as his own brother. Lin Ye, what's the matter with your brother Feng that I called this morning? I still have a truckload of cement to move today, so please don't bother me. A familiar deep voice came from the other end of the line. Lin Ye called Feng Zhuang in the afternoon, but the other party didn't answer. Lin Ye asked directly, Brother Feng, do you believe me? Feng Zhuang said in a careless manner, what nonsense are you talking about? Even if you tell me to die, if I frown even once, it would be a disrespect to our relationship. Lin Ye's heart warmed. After all these years, Feng Zhuang's feelings for him had not changed. The 3 of them were almost starved to death on the streets, and it was Feng Zhuang who found a way to get them food, which enabled them to survive the difficult times. Now that Lin Ye is rich, he will definitely take them to make money together. Lin Ye briefly told Feng Zhuang how he made 1 million by selling a song. Fuck. People with intellectual talents are different. Is that song made of gold? Can it be sold for $1 million? Feng Zhuang only went to elementary school and had no idea about copyright. It took Lin Ye a long time to explain it to him before he understood. In short, the song you wrote can only be used by you and no one else can use it. You sell it to others and make $1 million. Feng Zhuang's tone was full of disbelief. Yes. Lin Ye nodded. Fuck. Why don't you write more? Is this thing difficult? Lin Ye smiled bitterly and said, for most people, they may never be able to write such a valuable song in their entire life. It has to be you, Ye Zi. I've always thought you were the smartest since you were a child. Lin Ye said, I have money now. Don't carry cement anymore. I want to open a media company. Come and help me. Lin Ye, are you really sure? There was a clear voice from the other end of the phone. It was a girl. Lin Ye's mind flashed with an image of a girl with short hair, ordinary breasts, and a carefree personality, just like a tomboy. He immediately said, yes, I am confident that I can start this media company. I have talent, and even if I sell the copyrights, I can make this company a lot of money. Tang Yu was overjoyed when she heard this. Lin Ye, I trust you. You are the smartest among the 3 of us. I will go no wrong if I listen to you. Tang Yu, like him, is in high school. The 3 of them once depended on each other and went through the most difficult times together, and their feelings are very deep. Later, Lin Ye was taken to the Lin family. The 2 were very envious and hugged each other and cried for a while. Both of them have met Wanwan's mother and said that she is the most perfect mother in the world, who satisfies all their imaginations of a mother. Let's find a chance to get together tomorrow. I'll give you the money, and you can register a company and find a scalper to do it for you. It will be faster that way, and we don't need that little money. Lin Ye said. Tang Yu smiled and said, among the 3 of us, you have brains, I am careful, and Da Zhuang is strong. If the 3 of us work together, there is nothing in the world that we can't do. Lin Ye sniffed secretly. In his previous life, after he was kicked out of the Lin family, it was Tang Yu and Feng Zhuang who took him in. After that, he used Liu Fei's money to make a comeback. These 2 people have always been his strongest supporters. Lin Zihao sent people to assassinate him many times, but Feng Zhuang always blocked them for him. If it weren't for Feng Zhuang, he would have died several times. Okay, then see you at the old place tomorrow. Lin Ye said with a smile. Good. After hanging up the phone, Lin Ye felt relieved. His career would gradually get better, and his life would slowly get better. He wants to get rid of the Lin family, surpass the Lin family, and make Lin Hongzhong, Lin Zihao, and Yang Fang all pay the price. Putting these thoughts behind me, I continue to practice questions, trying to make up for all the studies that I had missed due to working part-time. I would go to meet Feng Zhuang and Tang Yu tomorrow. He is short on time and needs to race against time. The cell phone rang again, but it was an unfamiliar number. I picked up the phone and heard a magnetic and charming voice on the other end. Mr. Lin, I've been thinking about it for the whole afternoon, but I still can't figure out why you gave me this song. I'm at Genting Restaurant. Would you like to have a drink? Chapter 26. I want to sign you, Liu Fei. Half an hour later, Lin Ye appeared at the Genting Restaurant on the top floor of the World Trade Center. This is the restaurant with the best view in the whole Qianhai city. All the exterior walls are made of transparent glass. Diners who come here to enjoy delicious food can enjoy the beautiful scenery. When it is foggy, it even feels like being on top of the clouds. The food here is also ridiculously expensive. Any side dish can cost thousands. Liu Fei was wearing a black lace long dress, and her snow-white peaks, set off by the lace, exuded a charming aura. Lin Ye took a sip of water, looked away, and said, "Actually, you don't have to invite me to such an expensive restaurant. Your father still needs money." This familiar tone made Liu Fei stunned at first, then she looked at Lin Ye with gritted teeth. "You investigated me." Lin Ye smiled and said, "Don't be nervous. You should be glad that I investigated you. Otherwise, why do you think I would sell the song to you?" "Why?" Liu Fei was surprised. "Because?" Lin Ye looked straight at Liu Fei. "I want you." Tang. Liu Fei blushed, like a moth with pink wings resting on a lampshade, reflecting the slightest fleeting redness on her face. She said angrily, "Little brat, I'm 6 years older than you. How dare you think that?" Lin Ye was stunned at first, then he reacted and said, "What are you thinking?" "I mean I want to sign you." Liu Fei was stunned, knowing that she had misunderstood. She blushed and mumbled, "Actually, what I meant was that I'm 6 years older than you. How could you sign me?" Lin Ye chuckled but didn't say anything. At that moment, he told Liu Fei about his plan to start a media company. He. After hearing this, Liu Fei smiled noncommittally. "After all, Huayi Media, the company I'm signed with now, is the top media company in China. Why would I go to a newly established company like yours?" Liu Fei's contract will expire in 2 months. In her previous life, Liu Fei had been mediocre. After the contract expired, Liu Fei went to another media company. As a result, the male boss of that company wanted to take advantage of her, but Liu Fei refused. As a result, the company put her on ice, causing Liu Fei to have no new dramas to shoot and no commercial performances for 3 consecutive years. In the end, it was Lin Qinshuan who stepped in to help Liu Fei terminate the contract with the company. The two became good sisters from then on. Afterwards, when Lin Qinshuan lost power and had his legs broken by Lin Zihao, Liu Fei came to his rescue. Every peck and every sip has its own destiny. Now, Lin Ye gave her ordinary road and wanted to poach her from Huayi Media. It's very simple. Lin Ye smiled, "I can make you a great singer." "Little brother, bragging is not a good habit." Liu Fei looked at her with a smile. Her beautiful face was particularly attractive in the night. Lin Ye took out a song he had prepared long ago and handed it to her. "I have many more songs like this. As long as you come to my company, within 3 years, I will definitely make you a singing queen." Liu Fei just glanced at it roughly, and then her pupils shrank suddenly, changing her previous careless attitude. The lyrics are very touching and the melody is also very beautiful. She hummed unconsciously. Lin Ye smiled and said, "Reading the lyrics is not enough, let me sing it for you." He stood up and picked up the wooden guitar from the restaurant. After tuning the strings for a while, he sang softly. "You are in the bright sunshine in the south, and the snow is falling. I feel like spring all year round in the cold nights of the north. Kneel down when you open your mouth." The pleasant rhythm immediately draws people into a mood of slight regret. As his singing began, all the customers in the Genting restaurant looked towards Lin Ye. Some guests were eating, talking and laughing, but as soon as Lin Ye opened his mouth, they all stopped eating, as if something in their hearts was touched, and stared at him intently. "If there's time before dark, I want to forget your eyes. A lifetime of dreaming is not enough." The deep and charming voice immediately attracted Liu Fei's attention. Lin Ye's voice was not full of fancy words, but contained a sense of sincerity and longing. The relationship is still there, like crying and complaining, just like listening to a story. He said that whatever beauty you have is praised. Not as good as the first time he met you. A faint sadness filled the entire Genting restaurant along with the sound of the guitar. Everyone was completely mesmerized by the chorus. Some people had tears in their eyes, staring blankly at the sky, not knowing what they were thinking. This song reveals a simple and unpretentious love that keeps poking everyone's heart and makes them start to miss the one who is far away. The most shocking one was Liu Fei. You can't finish a dream in your whole life. When she heard these lyrics, she couldn't help but think of her deceased mother and her broken family. When she was 12 years old, she heard that her father owed 6 million yuan. She felt a sense of powerless despair, as if her life was over. She couldn't bear to see her father's life end like this. He was her only relative, and she would spend her entire life helping her father repay his debts. I've been living a tight life these years and not even buying clothes is worth it. While other girls were showing off their beautiful clothes on WeChat Moments, she was bargaining with merchants for $1 or $2. Only you know the suffering you have endured. Lin Ye seemed to understand her very well. At this moment, Lin Ye was immersed in the moment, looking at Liu Fei with deep affection in his eyes. You are in the bright sunshine in the south, and the snow is falling. I feel like spring all year round in the cold nights of the north. His voice suddenly rose, and the lyrics and tone were full of regret and remorse. Liu Fei covered her chest with her hands, her figure swayed a little, and a string in her heart was deeply touched. There is a tombstone in Beihai. There are tombstones in Beihai. The song ended and Lin Ye kept repeating this sentence. The music gradually faded away, but Liu Fei's heart could not calm down for a long time. She wiped her face and found that her makeup had been smudged without her knowing when. After one song, coupled with Lin Ye's performance and superb singing skills, more than half of the customers in the restaurant were moved to tears by the song. Many people raised their glasses to him to express their greetings. No one stood up, and everyone was immersed in a sad atmosphere. Liu Fei's eyes were already covered with tears. Tears shattered my vision. She choked up and asked, "What's the name of this song?" Nanshan Nan. Lin Ye said. This song is very sad, is there a story behind it? Lin Ye said, when you hear this song, it has nothing to do with me anymore. The tears you shed are the story you know. Liu Fei cried even harder and kept wiping her tears with paper. Lin Ye took a deep breath, put down his guitar, and looked out at the city at night. The quiet night, the blowing wind, and the crying woman made him, a man, feel loving and compassionate. After a while, Liu Fei calmed down and said, "Did you write this? Do you have many more songs like this?" Lin Ye nodded calmly, "If you don't believe me, you can sign a bet agreement with me. If I can't make your online fans exceed 10 million within 3 years, you can terminate the contract at any time and don't need to pay any liquidated damages." "I'll sign," Liu Fei said seriously. Forehead. Lin Ye didn't expect the other party to agree so readily, and all the excuses he had prepared before suddenly vanished into thin air. "Don't you want to think about it seriously?" Lin Ye asked. "This song, Nanshan Nan, is enough." Lin Ye looked at her in surprise. Although Liu Fei was dressed somewhat revealingly, Lin Ye knew that she was a very conservative and cautious person in her heart. She was in debt, and making such a decision to give up her bright future and come to his startup company was already a huge risk for her. For Lin Ye, this is already a manifestation of trust. Lin Ye stood up and held Liu Fei's boneless white hand. "Happy cooperation. It's been a pleasure working with you. From now on, you will be a part of the company, and the new company will have your equity. Thanks. I should thank you for your trust. Liu Fei, why don't you let go?" Lin Ye was slightly stunned, then said, "Hold it for a while longer to deepen the trust." Chapter 27 Preparing to frame Lin Ye. Yanqing Film Academy. Lin Xuejin studies here and seldom goes home. Today, after receiving a call, she hurried to the dormitory. As soon as she opened the door, her second sister Lin Qinshuan cried and threw herself into her arms with tears in her eyes. "Xuejin, I was bullied, woo-woo." "What's wrong?" Second sister Lin Xuejin asked patiently. Lin Qinshuan told her that Lin Ye wrote Ordinary Road and would rather sell it to Liu Fei than to her. "He is such an ungrateful person. Our Lin family has raised him for so many years, yet he is actually leaning towards outsiders." Lin Qinshuan cursed angrily. Lin Xuejin's eyes widened in disbelief. "You mean, the song Ordinary Road, that's been very popular online these days, was sung and written by him?" As a student of Yanqing Film Academy, Lin Xuejin majored in vocal music and was very good at singing and songwriting. She has been listening to this song on repeat these past 2 days. She has been wondering what the singer had gone through to be able to write such a sad song. She subconsciously thought that the creator should be 40 years old or above. After going through many vicissitudes of life, I have seen all kinds of things in the world. She even had a little admiration for him, and for the first time she had the idea of chasing a star. She never expected that this song was written by Lin Ye, who is 2 years younger than her. Lin Chinchuan nodded. He wrote it. If our mother hadn't taught him music, how could an orphan like him learn music? Now he has grown up and doesn't care about the old times at all. Lin Shuajian was extremely shocked to receive the affirmation from her second sister. The singer she had always admired turned out to be Lin Ye. Lin Chinchuan said affectionately, "I am very sad today, you must comfort me." Lin Shui blushed as she saw him, and mumbled, but this is the dormitory." Lin Chinchuan was overjoyed. "That doesn't matter, we can just change places." "Then, will it be bad?" Lin Shuajin lowered her head, like a little girl who had done something wrong. "What's wrong with that? We are good sisters and we can just go and exchange feelings. Come on." Lin Chinchuan pulled her forcefully. Lin Shuajin's face turned red to her ears, like Little Red Riding Hood caught by the big bad wolf. She blushed and said angrily, "Sister. At the Lin family villa, the family has dinner." Lin Hongzhong lit up a Cuban cigar and said, "Third brother, has Lin Yi been discharged from the hospital? Remember to catch him and don't let him run away again." Lin Nanji, who was eating, frowned. It seems inappropriate to use the word catch when talking to family members. She said, "Lin Yi was discharged from the hospital that day and has not been in the hospital for a long time." "What?" Lin Hongzhong slammed the table hard, and the loud noise scared everyone. Lin Shisher's eating knife and fork fell to the ground. Lin Hongzhong's nose was almost crooked with anger, and he said coldly, "This evil creature." He went to the construction site to carry bricks and brought shame to our Lin family. He was discharged from the hospital. Who is he trying to show off his pity for? The stepmother curled her lips and said, "I told you long ago that this person has bad intentions. This is a trick of retreating to advance, pretending to be pitiful so that we will give him more family property. It's wishful thinking. Don't even think about protecting a penny." Lin Shisher said unhappily, "Mom, our family only gives him 100 yuan a month. How could he be interested in our family property? You don't understand. This is called forbearance. As long as he waits until the day when we divide our family property, a piece of the pie will be enough for him to live happily for the rest of his life. That brat Lin Yi looks honest on the surface, but he actually has a very bad heart." "Mom." Lin Shisher opened her mouth, feeling bitter. She knew in her heart that Lin Yi came to this family not to fight for the family property, but to protect Wanwan's mother. If Lin Yi was really the kind of person his stepmother described him to be, he would never fight with his father. If Lin Yi had been even slightly interested in the Lin family's assets, he would never have fought with his father. Dad clearly knew this, but he didn't say anything against it. Instead, he allowed stepmother to slander Lin Yi. Lin Shisher suddenly felt that this home was suffocating. The family she had always been proud of turned out to be such a terrifying existence. "Sixth sister, why are you speaking for Lin Yi today?" "He is a good-for-nothing waste," said fourth sister Lin Shinluo. "Yes." Lin Zihao showed a gentle smile. "Sixth sister, something is wrong with you." Lin Shisher felt sick when she thought about Lin Yi selling 1,000,000 songs and the way his family members ostracized Lin Yi. She stood up and shouted, "Lin Yi is not a waste. Keep your voice down." Lin Hongzhong roared. "Dad, are you mean to me?" Lin Shisher asked in disbelief. Lin Hongzhong pinched his brows and scolded, "Don't be disrespectful, sit down." Lin Shisher's eyes turned red. At this moment, she seemed to understand Lin Yi's feelings. If he treats his own daughter like this, what about Lin Yi? "I don't want to eat anymore." Lin Shisher said this and left, hiding her tears. She has no manners. Last time I greeted her, she ignored me. The stepmother said, staring at Lin Shisher's back. Lin Hongzhong put out his cigarette and said, "Bring Lin Yi back to me right now." "I'm not going. He has legs and can walk by himself." "Why should I catch him?" said the stepmother unhappily. She wished Lin Yi would leave this home completely, so how could she possibly bring Lin Yi back in person? "If I can't catch him, you are the only one who can ask." Lin Hongzhong left after saying this. The strict mother glared at him, then turned around and put a piece of fish into her son Lin Zihao's bowl. "Zihao, accompany your mother to find Lin Yi tomorrow." Lin Ye sneered. Okay, I will prepare a welcoming ceremony for my brother. Chapter 28, beat up Lin Ye and slapped Yang Fang twice. The next day, during the break, Yang Fang and Lin Ye stood in front of Lin Ye like two plague gods. Yang Fang crossed her arms across her chest, looking disdainful, as if someone owed her money. Brother Yi, your family misses you so much, please come back. Lin Ye said with a sweet smile, looking harmless. Lin Ye's eyes suddenly turned cold. In the previous life, after Lin Ye framed several sisters, they stood in front of him and showed off triumphantly, which was extremely despicable and arrogant. Lin Ye still remembers that face clearly. Roll. There was a murderous tone in Lin Ye's voice. Brother, just listen to mom and come back. Lin Ye came over and pulled Lin Ye's hand, but Lin Ye shook it off in disgust. Lin Ye sneered, and suddenly leaned back, fell to the ground, and cried, Mom, he hit me. Yang Fang immediately rushed forward in anger, shouting, Lin Ye, how could you hit someone? Lin Ye is your brother. How could you be so harsh on your brother? Lin Ye was stunned for a moment, then he realized, so you two are here to act today. Lin Ye remembered that he just shook off the other person's hand and didn't hit anyone at all. I don't understand what you are saying. Yang Fang said angrily, if you hit Ye, this matter will not end. At this time, Lin Shisha and Lin Juju also came over. The four of them were from the same school, but Lin Ye didn't usually meet them. Lin Ye immediately recounted how Lin Ye had beaten him, adding fuel to the fire. I just advised my brother to go home, but he ignored me and scolded me. I thought, he is my brother, if he scolds me, I should just accept it and not refute. As a result, my brother got annoyed with me, punched me, and pushed me to the ground. Don't be angry, brother didn't mean it, just forgive him, okay? Lin Ye looked like he was concerned about Lin Ye and portrayed the deep love between brothers to the fullest. Seeing him like this, Lin Ye felt a chill in his heart. In his previous life, Lin Ye relied on his acting skills to seize the Lin family's property step by step, and even deceived his 7 sisters. Lin Ye, how can you hit someone? He is your brother after all. Lin Juju said with an unhappy look on her face after hearing what Lin Ye said. Lin Shisha frowned and asked patiently, tell me, Lin Ye, it wasn't you who did it, I'll explain it for you. No, I did it. Lin Ye suddenly said with a smile. Lin Ye's pupils shrank. He was just waiting for Lin Ye to make an excuse so that he could continue to act pitiful and slander Lin Ye. But Lin Ye's sudden admission made him completely helpless. Yang Fang was also stunned and a little bit unbelieving. Lin Ye came in front of Lin Ye and showed a devilish smile. Fuck you. Without saying a word, he punched Lin Ye in the face. Lin Ye was hit in the nose by his punch and his nose was bleeding profusely. You dare to hit me. Lin Ye touched his nose, looking incredulous. I'm not just going to hit you, I'm going to kick you too. Lin Ye raised his leg and kicked Lin Ye hard in the stomach. This kick used about 80% of the force, and Lin Ye seemed to have a rope tied behind his back, and he bounced back 2 or 3 meters. Lin Ye, you rebellious son, how dare you hit Ye? Yang Fang rushed up in anger. Faced with her ferocious appearance, most people would be scared. But Lin Ye didn't indulge her at all. Bang! Lin Ye slapped Yang Fang hard on the face, leaving 5 bright red palm prints on her face. I've been wanting to give you this slap for a long time. Lin Ye said with a smile, I will slowly settle the accounts with you for all the good things you've done. You dare to hit me. Yang Fang was so angry that her face became red and swollen like a pig's head. Lin Shisha was stunned when she saw that Lin Ye actually hit his mother. In the minds of Chinese people, beating elders is a sign of unfilial piety. Therefore, some children dare not talk back to their elders even if they are wronged. But Lin Ye had no concerns about this at all. He is an orphan, without father or mother. I'm hitting you. Lin Ye was merciless. He raised his hand high and slapped Yang Fang in the face again. Bang! The sound is crisp. To have fun. You bitch, I've wanted to beat you up for so many years. Lin Ye wanted to continue, but Lin Shisha and Lin Juju held him back. Lin Ye, don't be impulsive. If you have anything to say, just talk it over nicely. Yang Fang covered her face with her hands, and a flash of resentment flashed across her eyes. You evil beast, I'm going to beat you to death today. Yang Fang picked up the wooden broom on the ground and hit Lin Ye hard on the head. Lin Ye was held by the 2 women and couldn't escape for a while. Bang! The stick broke and a trickle of blood flowed down his cheek. Lin Ye. Lin Ye let go of his hand, looked at the blood on Lin Ye's head, and was so panicked that she didn't know what to say. Stop the bleeding, quickly, follow me to the infirmary. Lin Ye grabbed Lin Ye's hand and dragged him to the infirmary. Get lost. No need for your hypocrisy. Lin Ye shook off her hand and turned away. Lin Ye felt as if she had been hit hard, tears welling up in her eyes. Lin Ye. Lin Ye didn't look back. Yang Fang cursed from behind. Lin Ye, you bastard, you dare to hit someone from my Lin family, you're done. He remained noncommittal. When they returned to the classroom, the classmates were shocked to see the blood on Lin Ye's head. Lin Ye, are you okay? Sunshiny handed over a tissue. Lin Ye took it, pressed the injured area and stopped the bleeding. The old witch was too ruthless and Lin Ye felt extremely painful in that area. Sunshiny took out another tissue and wiped the blood off Lin Ye's face. Sunshiny wiped it very carefully, as if he was treating a rare treasure. She was so close that Lin Ye could even clearly see the fuzz on her face, her long fluttering eyelashes, and her alluring red lips. Sunshiny suddenly said, I just saw it. You didn't hit Lin Zihao at all. He pretended to fall down in an accident. Why are you admitting it? Lin Ye sneered, I just don't like him and want to beat him up. Then why did you hit your mother too? Sunshiny asked. She is not my mother. Lin Ye snorted coldly. Is a vicious woman like Yang Fang worthy of being called a mother? Even a dog is better than her. Forget it. I heard from Shisha about your family background. Let's not worry about that for now. Come with me to the infirmary. The wound on your head needs to be disinfected for safety. Sunshiny said seriously. No, it's just a small thing. It will heal on its own in a couple of days. Lin Ye didn't care. He had experienced this kind of minor wound countless times since he was a child. In Feng Zhuang's words, as long as the person was not dead, it was not a big deal. He is not like Lin Zihao, a greenhouse flower. Even if his finger was scratched with a small cut, Yang Fang would feel like the sky has fallen. She brought all kinds of disinfectant medical supplies and even took Lin Zihao to a big hospital for a physical examination. Come with me to the infirmary and be obedient, okay? Sunshiny pulled his hand and said helplessly. No. Lin Ye refused decisively. He was not a hypocritical woman. If you don't go, I will keep holding your hand. Sunshiny threatened. Then I'll go right away. Sunshiny. Chapter 29, Extra Spicy, Indian Devil Pepper. In the school infirmary, Lin Ye had a bandage around his head and from a distance he looked like an Arab. It's so ugly, I want to tear it down. Lin Ye said. Don't demolish it. Sunshiny grabbed his hand, but then realized that their actions were somewhat ambiguous, and she hastily retracted her hand. Her cheeks were burning, and she said awkwardly, I didn't mean it. Lin Ye walked out indifferently. Sunshiny stamped his feet and chased after him. Lin Ye heard a familiar voice yelling from another ward from afar. What's your attitude? Are you done with the examination? My son was kicked in the stomach, and you didn't take an X-ray to check if there was any internal injury. He even had a nosebleed, and you're just perfunctory about it. The doctors in your school are too irresponsible. I'm going to file a complaint against you. Lin Ye immediately recognized the voice as that of his vicious stepmother Yang Fang. The doctor said, he really has no injuries. Please don't make things difficult for us. You still say that I'm making things difficult for you? You think you're right for not doing your job seriously? I have to complain, I must complain to you, believe it or not, I will report you to the Education Bureau and make you lose your jobs completely. Yang Fang cursed. Lin Zihao said, Mom, my nose itches. Yang Fang, did you hear that? My son's nose is itchy. Why don't you prescribe some medicine to relieve the itch? Why are you still standing there? Don't you understand what I'm saying? The doctor advised, it is normal to have an itchy nose after an injury. Just bear with it. Fuck you, my son can't have any problems. Just prescribe medicine for me. Why are you talking nonsense? Are you worried that I don't have money? I have plenty of money. Under Yang Fang's bad attitude, the school doctor had to prescribe a bottle of nasal spray for Lin Zihao to relieve the itching. Lin Ye was eavesdropping at the window, and the bottle of spray was placed on the windowsill. He immediately said to Sunshiny beside him, do me a favor and buy me a bottle of chili oil. Sunshiny cautiously took a half step back. What do you want to do? I won't help you do anything bad. Lin Ye clasped his hands together. Please do me a favor, I'll treat you to a meal. Sunshiny smiled slyly. It's a deal. 10 minutes later, the chili oil that Sunshiny bought arrived. Lin Ye stole the bottle of nasal spray and replaced the liquid inside with chili oil. After doing all this, he smiled at Sunshiny with a sinister smile. Sunshiny's heart was pounding, and he asked worriedly, Is there anything wrong? Lin Ye pulled him to a remote corner and said with a smile, Nothing will happen, but it will be enough for him to drink a pot. In the ward, Yang Fang looked at her son's injured nose and felt distressed. That damn Lin Ye actually dared to hit my son. Just wait and see if I don't kill him. Lin Shisha frowned and said, Mom, this matter still needs to be investigated. What are you investigating? Are you blind? We persuaded Lin Ye to go home, but he didn't appreciate it. He hit Zhao and slapped me twice. Isn't this an obvious fact? But I don't think Lin Ye is that kind of person. Zhao is your biological brother, why are you so siding with an outsider? What kind of magic potion did that bastard feed you? But Lin Shisha was about to say something when her stepmother interrupted her and threatened her viciously. If you say a good word for that bastard in front of me again, I will turn my back on you. Lin Shisha's face froze and she turned and left. Lin Juju glanced at her stepmother and followed her sister. Go, all of you, go. You are just ungrateful wolves who are siding with an outsider. Yang Fang's cursing voice came from behind. Lin Juju whispered, Sister, your stepmother is so uncultured, she actually said that to you. Lin Shisha lowered her head and said nothing. Sister. Lin Juju paused, Did you do that to Lin Ye? I see you're very protective of him. Lin Shisha's cheeks were burning hot, and she scolded, What are you talking about? He is our brother. Lin Juju stuck out her tongue. On the other side, Lin Zhao said, Mom, my nose is itchy. Yang Fang feels sorry for her son. She picked up the bottle of spray. The bottle was wet, but she didn't pay much attention to it. She smiled and said, Son, just spray it. In the distance, Lin Ye saw this scene through the window, his heart in his throat. Spray it. Spray it quickly. The doctor kindly advised, just bear with it. Hearing this, Yang Fang put down the spray. Lin Ye was a little disappointed. It would be great if he could teach Lin Zhao another lesson. Yang Fang was furious, My son has to endure something, what do I need you doctors for? You are just a bunch of useless people. Seeing Yang Fang acting like a shrew, several doctors shut up. Yang Fang was satisfied then. She asked Lin Zhao to tilt his head back, pointed the spray at his nose, and pressed it down. His tilder. Lin Zhao thought that the spray could relieve the itching, so to maximize the effect, he took a deep breath. So, the next moment. R. A shrill scream resounded throughout the building, making people's eardrums hurt. Lin Zhao was so spicy that tears came out and he rolled on the ground holding his nose. Son, what's wrong with you? Yang Fang held Lin Zhao in panic. Lin Zhao's face turned red from the spiciness, and he held the spray tremblingly. Spray. Oh. Yang Fang thought Lin Zhao still wanted it, so she sprayed it into Lin Zhao's nostrils again. R. Lin Zhao howled in pain, tears streaming down his face, and rolled around in even more agony. This is what adding fuel to the fire means. What's going on? Yang Fang noticed the oil on the spray and tentatively sprayed it on her mouth. The next moment. Huff, hit me. Yang Fang's face turned the color of liver from the spicy heat. What? The doctor was puzzled. Hurry up and hit me. The doctor said slowly, What are you talking about? Just tell me clearly what you want to say. If you don't tell me clearly, how can I know what you want? Water. Yang Fang stuck out her tongue because of the spicy taste. The doctor suddenly realized, if you wanted it, why didn't you tell me earlier? How would I know you wanted it if you didn't tell me? Someone wants to kill Yang Fang. Holy crap. This doctor is a jerk. In the distance, Lin Ye said with a smile, turned his head to look at Sunshiny on the other side, and asked, What kind of chili oil did you buy? It's so powerful. Sunshiny stuck out his tongue and said awkwardly, I specifically asked the boss for the spicy Indian devil pepper. Lin Ye gave her a thumbs up. You are really a little cow taking a sauna, it's really steaming fucking awesome. Chapter 30, hundreds of billions, you really dare to think. Lin Zihao and Yang Fang were both sent to their hospital. Yang Fang was fine, but Lin Zihao had a wound in his nose, and the chili oil on the wound was enough to make him very sick. In the afternoon, after class, Lin Ye went straight to a house in the suburbs. This house was built in the 1980s and has long been dilapidated. Few people live in it, and many rooms are empty and dilapidated. Lin Ye followed his childhood memories, walked to a whitish wooden door, and pushed it open. Lin Ye! Lin Ye! A familiar voice came out. Lin Jian looked carefully and saw two familiar faces. If not Tang Yu and Feng Zhuang, who else could it be? Tang Yu was tall, with a pair of straight and slender legs. She was about 1.67 meters tall, and with her short hair, she looked quite heroic. Feng Zhuang is 1.9 meters tall, with thick eyebrows, big eyes, a square face, a dark face and thick arms. He is as strong as a bull. Lin Ye, long time no see. Tang Yu said excitedly. Lin Ye smiled and handed over a gift box. What is this? Tang Yu took the gift box, a little excited. This is a phone for you. You'll be busy running a company in the future, you can't be without a phone. Thank you. Tang Yu hugged Lin Ye. Lin Ye didn't have any wrong thoughts. When the three of them depended on each other, they even slept together. There was nothing to be shy about. Only when you are full of wine can you think about sex, but when you are hungry, you will have no desire at all. Besides, Tang Yu is the Pacific Ocean, so hugging her is no different from hugging a man, so Lin Ye naturally hugged her tightly. Lin Ye looked at Feng Zhuang. Didn't you go to carry cement today? Feng Zhuang smiled innocently and said, you've come all the way here with great difficulty, I can't let you down. Lin Ye waved his hand and said, let's go, eat whatever you want today, it's my treat. Lin Ye brought the two of them to the Tongfu restaurant, which was covered with a red carpet. Looking at the ancient and luxurious restaurant, the three of them sighed in their hearts. 10 years ago, when the grandfather who adopted the three children passed away, the three children lost their income and had to beg on the streets. There is a certain rule when begging, which is to choose places that look rich. In order to avoid being bothered by beggars, these wealthy people often spend generously. Back then, Lin Ye once said to the two of them, one day, I will become rich and bring you to this restaurant for dinner. At that time, Feng Zhuang chuckled and said, it's not cheap to eat here. It will cost at least 1,000 yuan. Tang Yu said, why spend this money? Go to the seafood market, the fish offal there is almost gone. Every day in the seafood market, there are some fish offal left over that no one eats and they will be disposed of. All the nutrition of the three orphans depends on these fish offal. 10 years later, things have changed and people have changed. Lin Ye finally has the capital to realize his childhood dream. Lin Ye, can we go eat somewhere else? It's expensive here. Tang Yu pulled Lin Ye's sleeve. She was used to being frugal and didn't like to spend money lavishly. We are not short of money. But. Okay, no buts, today's my treat. Lin Ye pulled Tang Yu into Tongfu restaurant without further ado. After sitting down, Tang Yu looked at the prices on the menu and was shocked. What a shady merchant, a dish of stir-fried vegetables costs 132 yuan. Are these vegetables made of gold? And this smashed cucumber is 99 yuan, it's so dark. Tang Yu covered her flat chest, as if her heart was bleeding. Lin Ye just found it funny watching from the side. Taking the menu, he ordered a table full of dishes. Lin Ye said, Brother Zhuang, Tang Yu, our lives will be different from now on. We don't have to be so frugal. Today, feel free to eat as much as you want. Feng Zhuang curled his lips and said, this is a shabby restaurant. There's only a small bowl of rice. It's not enough for me to eat. Lin Ye smiled and said, unlimited refills are available. Feng Zhuang's face lit up, then it's barely possible. During the meal, Lin Ye explained the company registration matters. The name of the company is Wanwan Culture Media Company, Limited, in memory of the deceased mother Su Wanwan. Neither of them had any objections. The registered capital is tentatively set at 100,000 renminbi, which can be changed later. Lin Ye gave Feng Zhuang 400,000 yuan to register a company, rent a venue, and recruit staff. Tang Yu assisted from the side. After taking care of the company's registration matters, Lin Ye felt relieved. The company already has the artist Liu Fei. As long as Liu Fei can be made into a hit, the company's other businesses will be easy to develop. Many film and television companies are like this, such as Jin Kai and Tang Ishi from Huai Media, Li Yuchen and Hua Qingyu from Lin Ye Media, etc. As long as the company can make a certain singer or a movie popular and promote its brand, the company will become famous and can soar to the top. A week later, the new company was officially established and various licenses were obtained. Lin Ye serves as both chairman and CEO, Tang Yu is the financial director, and Feng Zhuang is the human resources director. Lin Ye holds 51% of the shares, Feng Zhuang holds 10%, Tang Yu holds 10%, Liu Fei holds 20%, and the rest is used as equity incentives. As for why he wanted to give Liu Fei shares, it was the result of Lin Ye's careful consideration. After all, this company will train Liu Fei as a core object for a long time in the future. In the future, Liu Fei will definitely be a queen-like existence. Once shares are given, the other party will be more likely to treat the company's affairs as their own. The company's address was chosen to be the Shuangxing Tower in the CBD of Tianhai City, which are two 50-story buildings connected by a bridge in the middle. There is a large commercial plaza and subway downstairs, and transportation is also convenient. After the company is established, the next most important thing is to recruit people from the talent market. The entertainment industry relies heavily on personal connections, so he asked Liu Fei to do the job. Feng Zhuang recruits some basic talents, such as front desk staff, security guards, cleaners, etc. Liu Fei is responsible for recruiting professional talents, such as recording engineers, sound mixers, agents, etc. A few days later, Liu Fei, who was so busy that she was exhausted, found Lin Ye and said to him with a look of resentment, "I have discovered that you used my money to start a company, and then I became your employee. You sold me out and I counted money for you." Lin Ye smiled awkwardly, "You can't say that. The new company has your shares. When you become a superstar and the new company's assets exceed 10 billion or 100 billion, you will become a rich woman and gain both fame and fortune." Liu Fei curled her lips. Hundreds of billions, you really dare to think? You still have to have dreams. You, shameless. Liu Fei's beautiful eyes widened and she ran away. Lin Ye was stunned for a moment, scratched his head and said, "What I'm saying is, what are you thinking about by selling yourself to the company?" Chapter 31 Get Them Out. Lin Family Villa. Except for Lin Ye, their whole family gathered together. After being bullied by Lin Ye, Lin Ziha was sent to their hospital to have his nose washed. The nose became a big red carrot. Even after 3 days, I was still feeling sick. Let's talk about how to deal with this matter. Lin Hongzhong knocked on the table and said, "How do we bring Lin Ye back?" "Pick it up." "Why did you pick it up?" "Pick it up to hit someone." The stepmother suddenly raised her voice and yelled, "Do you know what he did to Zihao? Does he still have this brother in his eyes? He even slapped me twice. Does he still have me as his mother in his heart? He is just a bastard. A bastard without a father or a mother." Lin Shisher said, "Mom, you also hit Lin Ye with a stick, and his head is bleeding." Before she could finish, her stepmother interrupted her, "It is only natural for me to beat him. Even if I beat him to death, he has to bear it." These words were full of murderous intent, and Lin Shisher frowned slightly. "How can a mother be like this? You beat your child to death and think it's justified? I'm afraid you don't take the criminal law seriously." That day she saw Yang Fang take action with her own eyes. The wooden stick hit Lin Ye's head hard with such great force that she seemed to want to kill Lin Ye on the spot. Lin Shisher couldn't imagine that if her stepmother had an iron rod in her hand that day, she would probably hit her without hesitation. By then, Lin Ye's head would not just be bleeding. He might have a concussion or even faint. This stepmother has an extremely vicious heart. Lin Shisher saw through this vicious woman. Lin Yibing sneered, "Oh, if you say so, then even if you beat us to death, it would be justified. Do we still have to endure it?" All 7 girls looked unfriendly. Everyone knows that the stepmother only loves her son, and the 7 daughters are also outsiders in her eyes. Lin Yibing is the president of the Lin Group and has some insights into human nature. Since Yang Fang is worried that Lin Ye will snatch her son's inheritance, it is natural that she, the eldest sister who holds the power of the Lin Group, is also a thorn in the stepmother's side. I didn't mean that. I was talking about Lin Ye." Yang Fang explained hurriedly. "Who knows?" Lin Yibing snorted coldly, "If you want to try to kill us, you can try." The word "try" revealed her murderous intention. Yang Fang panicked and started crying immediately. "Woo-woo, you guys teamed up to bully my mother and me. Lin Ye beat up Zhao and me, and you guys still spoke for him. I won't live anymore. Yang Fang can cry at any time. If she were to become an actress, she would definitely be first rate. Lin Hongzhong rubbed his temple with a headache and said in a deep voice, "What do you think? Is there any need to see this?" The stepmother gave up and yelled, "Lin Ye is no longer a member of our Lin family. He hit me, which is a slap on the face of the Lin family. He must be severely punished." Lin Yibing said, "Auntie, please use dignity and logic. Lin Ye just beat you, you can't represent the Lin family." Seeing that no one paid any attention to her, Yang Fang started to throw a tantrum again, sitting on the ground and crying loudly, "Old Lin, look, you all want me to die. Fine, then I will die a good death." Crying, making a fuss, and then throwing a tantrum are this woman's specialties. No one paid any attention to her at all. Lin Yibing looked at her as if she were a clown. But an actor's self-cultivation is that he has to continue acting no matter how embarrassing it is. Yang Fang hugged Lin Hongzhong's thigh and cursed, "I was beaten by Lin Ye, and you didn't say a word. You even begged me to come back. Lin Hongzhong, I was blind to follow you, a coward." Lin Hongzhong's heart was calm, his eyes seemed to say, "Even though you were beaten, I was beaten by him too. And more than once. Lin Ye is a wild boy who doesn't even consider him as his father." Lin Hongzhong understands this very well. When Su Wanwan was here, she dared to fight him. Even though he beat Lin Ye several times later, when this guy saw him beating Wan, he rushed up again like a fearless warrior. Headache. He rubbed his brows and made a decision, "Everyone follow me to school. This time, we must teach that rebellious son a lesson no matter what." Lin Shisher asked in a low voice, "Dad, do you really want Lin Ye to come back?" A fierce look flashed in Lin Hongzhong's eyes, "Bring him back even if you have to tie him up. I'm busy." Lin Yibing stood up first and walked upstairs. The eldest sister's attitude was a signal, and the 7 of them stood up and followed her. The 7 of them had an agreement that Lin Ye was the son adopted by Wanwan's mother. Anyone who violated this would be betraying his mother. Even though Lin Qinshuan and Lin Shenluo were dissatisfied, they still followed their elder sister obediently. 7 people are of one mind. Yang Fang pointed at their backs, her fingers trembling. Do you have me as your mother in your heart?" Lin Shisher kept walking, feeling more and more disgusted with Yang Fang. It was this woman who caused Lin Ye to suffer and also caused her to wrongly accuse Lin Ye. At this moment, she just wanted to ask, "Are you qualified to be a mother? Would other mothers be so harsh on their children? So vicious?" After arriving upstairs, Lin Shisha and Lin Juju immediately received an order from their eldest sister, "You two go over and take a look, don't let them do anything too extreme." Lin Ye has been busy with the establishment of a new company these days and needs to get everything in the company on track first. After 2 months, Liu Fei terminates her contract with the original company, and the new company can officially start sailing. Busy with work and study, Lin Ye was severely sleep-deprived in the past 2 days and fell asleep on the table. "Lin Ye, come with me to the office." Ban Yuren and Liu Mingjin came over and said. The teacher's office was very quiet, with only 3 or 4 teachers, all working at their desks preparing lessons. Liu Mingjin unscrewed the moisturizing cup and drank a sip of health-preserving wolfberry tea. "Lin Ye, your grades have always been ranked first in your grade. In the past few days, several teachers have reported to me that you sleep in class. What's going on?" Liu Mingjin slammed the table. In fact, she was only strict in words, but she loved this student very much in her heart. Lin Ye always ranked first in his grade in comprehensive academic performance. The key point is that Lin Ye is an art student and plans to go to an art school in the future. An art student has better academic performance than liberal arts students. Can you accept this? You know, a college entrance examination student needs to score more than 500 points to be admitted to a good university. But art students only need more than 300 points to get into a good school. So many art students have a mentality of giving up almost completely in their academic subjects. In the eyes of many people, art students are synonymous with poor students, and some class teachers don't even care about art students. But Lin Ye is a rare gem among many art students. Lin Ye also spent a lot of time taking the art exam, although he didn't have much time, but he still did better than the liberal arts students. Many class teachers advised Lin Ye not to go to an art school. With his grades, going to Tsinghua University is not a dream. Lin Ye is a good student in the class, but he has been sleeping in class recently. Liu Mingjun is really worried about him. Homeroom teacher, I'm sorry, I've been busy lately. Lin Ye lowered his head and said sincerely. Liu Mingjun softened her tone and said, you are the best student in the grade. Don't put too much pressure on yourself. Your art exam results are very good. Even if you go directly to take the college entrance examination now, you can choose any art school in the country. You are so thin, and you don't eat more and pay attention to nutrition. I don't know what your family did to make you starve like this. Exercise more and go to bed early at night. Nothing is more important than your health, you know. Liu Mingjun was spitting and scolding Lin Ye. The deeper the love, the more severe the criticism. She didn't want the best student in her class to break down. Although Lin Ye was being scolded, he felt very happy in his heart. He could clearly feel that the head teacher cared about him and loved him. Liu Mingjun's mouth was almost dry from talking. Ding ding. The ringtone rang. She picked up the phone and listened, then looked at Lin Ye in surprise. Your parents are looking for you again. Lin Ye's expression changed. Get them out.